Chapter 2046. Yuanshi Royal Family Boom. The northern granny looked as if she had been struck by lightning. She then turned her head to look at the battle in the distance and felt extremely terrified. What a deep scheme. He actually made two human immortal stage giants run in circles. Are you done being surprised? Can you make way now? I have to hurry back. Lin Ling said indifferently. Good, I've underestimated you. If you have the ability, tell me your name. The North Granny recovered from her shock, but her expression was extremely cold. This was the first time in her life that she had been played like this. I am Lin Ling. Lin Ling did not hide anything. It's you. No wonder you're so powerful. However, you're still too inexperienced. You shouldn't have told me everything because you'll never be able to leave this place. Ha ha ha. The North Granny suddenly laughed. She laughed so excitedly that she kept coughing. I've also heard that Crystal City has a treasure, but for so many years, no one has been able to find it. I didn't expect you to find the treasure. What exactly is the treasure? North Granny walked forward step by step. Because the treasures follow the feng shui, no one knows the exact location. As for what the treasures are, no one knows. However, there should be more than 100,000 three-star immortal weapons. Lin Ling also walked forward slowly. Plop. North Mammy's heart was beating wildly. Such a rich treasure. That's great, it's all hers. Why are you telling me this? Don't you know that this could easily lead to a fatal disaster? Very quickly, the North Granny bared her fangs, her greed and murderous intent overflowing. Why should I tell you? The reason is very simple. You kidnapped my wife. My wife is my reverse scale, so I want you to die knowing that you can't offend my wife. Lin Ling said coldly. A very good man. Unfortunately, his life is too short. A terrifying murderous intent exploded from the North Granny's body. However, even though she was fast, Lin Ling wasn't slow either. He stretched out his right hand and a black shadow instantly shot out from his sleeve. It transformed into a bloody mouth and pounced towards the North Granny. Old witch, your life is mine. The black shadow also unleashed a terrifying law like a black torrent. It was a minor saint. The moment the North Granny saw the minor saint, she immediately sensed the terrifying power of the giant serpent. Lin Ling actually had such a terrifying trump card? You want to eat my wife's soul? You're already dead. Lin Ling held you and the others' hands and walked past the North Granny. The North Granny stood there trembling. She was surrounded by a terrifying giant snake. At this moment, she was afraid. She did not expect that she was the cause of all this. Because she took you and the others away, she brought Lin Ling into the Northern Celestial Royal Family, causing the Northern Celestial Royal Family to face all kinds of disasters. Lin Ling, how despicable. The North Celestial Royal Family will not let you go. The North Granny finally let out an angry roar. Unfortunately, she couldn't stop the little saint's bite. This old witch's flesh is sour and ugly. I'm sorry, minor saint. Lin Ling said. If the North Granny hadn't touched his reverse scale, perhaps the old woman wouldn't have died. She said she wouldn't let you go before she died. Brother Ling, I'm tired of hearing such words. Yu said with a smile. Me too. Lin Ling shrugged. Behind them, Yuanshi and the crown prince of the spirit tribe were shocked. Although they knew that Lin Ling's trump card was terrifying, they only knew how difficult it was to deal with Lin Ling after witnessing the fall of a martial emperor. Alright, I've accomplished my goal. It's time for me to leave. Happy cooperation. After walking a few streets, Lin Ling looked at Yuanshi and the others and said with a smile. It's rare for you to come to the Great Saint Realm. why don't you pay a visit to the Yuanshi royal tribe? My master, the primeval spiritual being, would like to meet Lin Ling. Yuanshi Zi said after thinking for a while. Lin Ling frowned when he heard that. It would be better to leave now. The primeval spiritual being has a good reputation. He has a good relationship with the 18 islands of the spirit tribe. Lin Ling, why don't you pay him a visit? The crown prince of the spirit tribe looked at Lin Ling and said. Lin Ling looked at Yu and the others and nodded. Although he didn't want to complicate matters, he believed in Yuanshi Zi. Although he didn't have much contact with Yuanshi Zi, Lin Ling was quite good at judging people. That's great. Seeing Lin Ling nod, Yuanshi Zi laughed excitedly. He brought Lin Ling to the primeval spiritual being. Luckily, Crystal City was big enough. Therefore, even if the North Deity Emperor knew that he had been tricked, it would be difficult for him to find Lin Ling and the others. And that was the truth. The North Deity Emperor was still fighting. Although the North Deity Emperor was quite strong, he couldn't take on so many people at once. His hair was messed up and his face was swollen. But at this time, someone shouted from the ground. Lord North Deity, the North Granny's life jade is broken. But before she died, she said that everything was Lin Ling's trick. That person said with a terrified expression. He even said what the North Granny said before she died. Lin Ling? Lin Ling, a legend in the human world? The North Deity Emperor almost went crazy when he heard that. The deity Marquis felt something sweet in his throat and almost spat out blood. However, he forced it back down. As for the elites of the Ghost Tribe and the Demon Tribe, they were frowning. However, what that person said next made the North Deity Emperor and the deity Marquis vomit blood. The North Granny also said that the real treasure is in the deity Marquis mansion. This is Lin Ling's plan to lure us away. Pfft. The North Deity Emperor was already injured. At this moment, his injuries worsened. He spat out a mouthful of blood 100 meters away. The deity Marquis felt something sweet in his throat again and spat out another mouthful of blood. He couldn't swallow it anymore and spat it out 100 meters away. After fighting for a long time, they had all fallen into Lin Ling's trap. Not only did the two forces suffer great losses from the battle, but the most important thing was that the legendary treasure was also obtained by Lin Ling. Lin Ling, it's Lin Ling again. The elites of the demon tribe were stunned. Without a doubt, they roared angrily. They had heard of this Lin Ling several times. Every time he appeared, it would cause an uproar in the demon tribe. What a good plan. It seems like he's also the one who killed the crown prince of the ghost tribe. The experts of the ghost race weren't in a much better state as well. Because they'd helped Lin Ling. At this moment, Lin Ling didn't know about the anger of the big shots. Even if he knew, he wouldn't care. After arriving at the Yuanshi royal family, Lin Ling realized that this place was like an ethereal immortal gate. There were cranes flying in the sky and Qilin walking around. It gave off a celestial feeling. Yu, and the others looked at the surroundings filled with birds and flowers, and they all became happy. Yuanshi Zi continued to introduce everything about the Yuanshi royal family. Of course, the arrival of Lin Ling and the others had also caused a commotion among the younger generation of the Yuanshi royal family. What a beautiful woman. She can be compared to Yuanshi Guer. Yuanshi Guer is the #1 genius below senior brother Yuanshi Zi. She's also the daughter of our master. We can only look up to her. Those two women shouldn't be that powerful. Maybe we can get closer to them? Dream on. Don't you see that handsome young man? He's obviously the lover of those two women. Even senior brother Yuanshi seems to respect him very much. Chapter 2047. Yuanshi Guji. It could be seen that Yuanshi Zi's seniority in the Yuanshi royal family was not low. With him around, everyone looked at Lin Ling with admiration. Of course, there was also envy in their eyes. Huang's son, Lin Ling, the legend of the mortal dimension, Lin Ling. I've long since heard of this name, and now that I've met you today, you're indeed a young elite. At this time, a large number of people walked out. The man in the lead was dressed in a white robe. His long hair casually scattered, giving people a feeling of immortality. What was surprising was that he was not old, only in his 30s. This person was none other than the primeval spiritual master. Beside him, a woman in a white muslin dress was also curiously staring at Lin Ling. This woman's temperament was like that of a celestial, and she was a first-rate beauty just like Yu and the others. Greetings, primeval Zhenren. Lin Ling looked at him in surprise, then smiled and bowed. This is too much for me. Yuanshi Zhenren's expression changed. He hurriedly helped Lin Ling up, which made many people gasp. They did not understand why Lin Ling was qualified to be helped by Yuanshi Zhenren himself. You're a legend of the mortal world. Even I have to look up to the three mysterious of the mortal world. So, it's good that we're on the same level. Yuanshi Zhenren laughed, which made many people understand. Then he continued, I've heard about what happened to you. I shouldn't have let you stay, but Lin Ling is after all a legend in the mortal realm. I've heard a lot about you, so I took the liberty to invite Your Excellency Lin Ling to make friends. I hope Your Excellency can forgive me. It is my good fortune to be able to meet primeval Zhenren. The other party was very polite, so Lin Ling was also very polite. Next, the primeval spiritual master brought Lin Ling and the others to a mountain peak. There were immortal fruits and immortal wine on the mountain peak. It was like an immortal's home. Looking into the distance, there were fluttering white clouds. It felt as if they could ascend to immortality at any time. Everyone sat down and started conversing with each other. Tomorrow, my primordial immortal peach will ripen. This fruit takes 10,000 years to ripen. Your Excellency Lin Ling has really come at the right time. Yuanshi Zhenren proposed a toast to Lin Ling and said, Guer, come and dance, let's toast for everybody. After chatting for a bit, that woman called Yuanshi Guer walked out, dancing lightly and gracefully. Under the immortal music, she seemed as light as an immortal. Good, good, good. The spiritual race crown prince couldn't help but clap. However, the black feather princess, Yu, and the others narrowed their eyes. Their sharp female intuition told them that the celestial maiden seemed to be very interested in Lin Ling. Yuanshi also noticed this and smiled bitterly. He was not surprised by his junior sister's action. Because his junior sister was proud and arrogant, she only worshipped the top young talents in the world. And Lin Ling was the youngest genius of the human race. Plus, he was handsome. It would be strange if his junior sister was not moved. Young master, Guer will treat you to a drink. After a round of immortal dance, the primeval bone child floated in front of Lin Ling. He stretched out his hand and a cup of wine appeared. From Lin Ling's point of view, Yuanshi's bone was indeed beautiful, like a fairy flying from the heavens. Thank you. However, before Lin Ling could take the wine, Yuer said with a smile. She took the wine and drank it for Lin Ling. Moreover, Yu sat beside Lin Ling and secretly pinched Lin Ling's thigh. Lin Ling gasped and he could hear Yu's jealous voice. Who told you to flirt? He was wronged. Lin Ling felt wronged because he did not do anything. Young master is so lucky to have such a beautiful wife by your side. This is the wish of all men in the world. At this moment, the primeval bone child saw Yuer's actions. Her eyes dimmed but she quickly smiled and floated back. Thank you. Yuer immediately replied for Lin Ling and poured wine for Lin Ling. She was extremely obedient. Yu was the same. This undoubtedly made the primeval bone child and the spirit tribe crown prince even more jealous. Lin Ling continued to smile bitterly. He knew that Yu and the rest did not want to lose to the primeval bone child, so they acted naturally. Of course, Yu and the rest's actions made Lin Ling feel a little proud. My daughter has embarrassed herself. However, the tournament of geniuses is getting closer. With your strength, Lin Ling, I'm afraid you'll make a name for yourself again. Moreover, I'm going to participate in the tournament of geniuses. When I meet you, Lin Ling, I hope you'll be merciful to Lin Ling. The primeval bone child did not pay much attention to what had just happened. Instead, he smiled and said. Lin Ling's eyes narrowed. The primeval bone child was going to participate in the tournament of geniuses? Lin Ling, you probably don't know that all legends and giants of the human world can participate in the tournament of geniuses. As long as you get a good ranking, you can participate in the Battle of Genesis in 3 years. The Spirit Tribe Crown Prince said. I see. Lin Ling nodded in realization. It must be a rule added by the giants of the human world. Because the Battle of Genesis would decide the entire world, the giants of the human world naturally did not want to miss the opportunity. Then, Lin Ling looked at the primeval bone child. He did not expect the primeval bone child to be her father. Everyone chatted again. Because they were going to taste the primeval immortal peach tomorrow, Lin Ling and the rest stayed for one more day. As night fell, the primeval bone child became more ethereal. Celestial music drifted in the air, completely different from the chaos in Crystal City. Lin Ling did not cultivate and walked around casually. Even Li Xiaoyao did not have much of an impression of the primeval bone child. Because in the Great Saint Realm, Li Xiaoyao only remembered the divine Marquis Mansion and the mysterious ancient giant, the Death Arrow Martial God. The Death Arrow Martial God was defeated by Li Xiaoyao in the past. In the end, he was chased to the Great Saint Realm and promised never to step into the human world. Of course, those promises were just a joke. Young master, you are in such a good mood. Now, everyone in the city is looking for you, but you are here drinking wine. You are not afraid even if the sky collapses. You are indeed the mad god Lin Ling. At this time, an ethereal voice came from behind Lin Ling. It was the primeval bone child. I am in the primeval bone child. With the primeval bone child around, what am I afraid of? Lin Ling immediately laughed. Young master, you really know how to talk. The primeval bone child also laughed. Her smile could make 100 flowers dim in comparison. It had to be said that the primeval bone child was indeed a rare beauty in the world. She gave people a feeling that she was boneless. Moreover, she looked as pure as a fairy. However, her figure was extremely good. She was straight where she should be and perky where she should be. However, Lin Ling could be considered to have seen many beauties. Therefore, although he felt that she was beautiful, he would not be moved. The son of Huang, Lin Ling, from the ancient Face sect. He rose up by himself and helped his race to stand firm in the chaotic world. He conquered the world in the Heaven Mystics Kingdom. After that, he entered the rainforest sacred land like a dazzling star and finally became the king of the rainforest sacred land. Moreover, he came to the vast Xianpeng province and became famous in the human world. Now, he is an existence that cannot be underestimated among the various races. The primeval bone child looked into the distance and said. This made Lin Ling shocked. He did not expect the other party to be so familiar with him. Chapter 2048. Framing. It's already so late. If a man and a woman are alone together, it'll be easy for others to gossip. But at this moment, a jealous voice drifted over. In the distance, Yu and Yuer were strolling over. Greetings, elder sister Yu and elder sister Yu. Yuanshi Guer's expression changed as she hurriedly bowed. I don't dare to call you sister. I just hope that you don't do some ugly things behind other people's backs. And Yuer said slyly. She stared at Yuanshi Guer with some evil intentions. Lin Ling immediately smiled bitterly. He wanted to say that there was nothing between him and Yuanshi Gugu, but it seemed that the more he said, the more discredited it was. Elder sister is right. Gu-er knows his mistake. Gu-er will leave immediately. Yuanshi Guer understood the meaning behind his words. Her beautiful eyes were a little moist, but she still bowed. She just wanted to see the person she admired. That was all. This was her dream. She didn't do anything shameful. Take care, I won't see you off. And Yuer appeared very cold. After all, she also knew that Lin Ling was very outstanding and had attracted the admiration of countless women. However, she had to ensure Lin Ling's safety. She was afraid that Lin Ling would be deceived. I'm innocent. After Yuanshi Gugu left, Lin Ling immediately raised his hand and said, I'll be lenient if I confess. Seeing Lin Ling's expression, An Yuer and Yu both burst into laughter. We do believe in you, but sometimes we don't believe in others. Hearing those words, Lin Ling's heart warmed. He held the two women's hands and looked at the starry sky in the distance. Yuanshi Zhenren was sitting cross-legged in one of the rooms. Sandalwood was burning in the room and it was extremely quiet. A person was kneeling in front of him. It was Yuanshi Zi. Master, you can't. Although Lin Ling and I don't have a deep friendship, how could I harm him? Yuanshi Zi raised his head and said. Lin Ling is my absolute opponent in the tournament of young geniuses. If I don't attack him now, I won't have any chance in the tournament of young geniuses. The same goes for you. Yuanshi Zhenren said with his eyes closed. A jug of wine appeared in his hand. Lin Ling is very loyal to his friends. He trusts you now. Give him this wine of Dharma ignition. The wine of burning law, the wine of burning truth, 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 ultimately turning an expert into a cripple? Master, I can't do it. Yuanshi Zi kowtowed. Lin Ling's trump card is very strong. Even I don't dare to casually face that mysterious snake. Otherwise, do you think I would need this wine to harm him? I promise you, if Lin Ling drinks this wine, after he becomes a cripple, I will guarantee his safety for the rest of his life. But if you refuse, your hometown, your parents will all die. Moreover, you are in my Yuanshi royal family. You can see how my master treats you. You have today, it's all because of my master. Think about it yourself. Yuanshi Zhenren said lightly. Yuanshi Zhenren's body trembled. Thinking of the people in his hometown and his grandmother, he finally picked up the wine pot and turned to leave. He was the disciple of Yuanshi Zhenren, so he had no right to refuse. After Yuanshi Zhenren left, Yuanshi Zhenren finally opened his eyes. Treasure? I heard it was left by Li Xiaoyao. If I can get it, my strength will increase greatly in the tournament of young geniuses. I can also participate in the battle of young geniuses. His eyes were blazing with the light of ambition. The next day, the sun rose from the east, warming the earth. Lin Ling and the others were notified early in the morning. They went to eat the primeval immortal peaches because the immortal peaches at this time were the best. In fact, Lin Ling had no interest in the immortal peaches at all. He stayed for one more day because of Yuanshi Zhenren. Everyone once again gathered at the same mountain peak as yesterday. There were tables and chairs there, and the fragrance of peaches wafted out from the top. Several glistening red peaches were placed there. When the primeval spiritual master saw Lin Ling and the others arrive, he personally went to welcome them. TSK, I heard that the primordial immortal peach is the #1 peach in the world. Even the island masters of the spirit tribe's 18 islands covet it. I didn't expect us to have the fortune to taste it. Brother, you're taking advantage of Lin Ling. The spirit tribe crown prince and the black feather princess were a little excited. After tasting this peach, they could go back and show off a little. This is the best time to taste this peach. Don't miss it. After inviting Lin Ling and the others to take a seat, the primeval spiritual master smiled faintly and asked Lin Ling and the others to start eating. One had to admit that the primeval immortal peach was indeed delicious. Once it entered one's mouth, one would forget to leave. It smells so good. Yu and the others exclaimed in surprise. Lin Ling smiled and nodded. He didn't think much of it because he had tasted even more delicious immortal peaches before. It was just that Li Xiaoyao tasted it back then. As for the spirit tribe crown prince, he was even more exaggerated. Not only did he take a bite, he even licked his fingers and almost licked the core of the peach. Ha! His appearance undoubtedly caused everyone to burst into laughter. After laughing, the primeval spiritual master suddenly looked at the primeval spiritual master. Primeval spiritual master, Lin Ling is your close friend. He will be leaving soon. Aren't you going to send him off with a cup of wine? Hearing that, the primeval spiritual master's heart skipped a beat. He raised his head and looked at Lin Ling. Lin Ling, on the other hand, smiled slightly. His smile was somewhat sincere. Seeing that, the primeval spiritual master also smiled, but his smile was very forced. Although he and Lin Ling had known each other for a long time, Lin Ling was a person with a true temperament. As long as he was a friend, he would do anything. But now, was he going to frame his friend? Primeval spiritual master, your cultivation is still some distance away from Lin Ling. After Lin Ling leaves, I will guide you well. Don't embarrass me at the genius tournament. At this time, the primeval spiritual master smiled. His words were reminding the primeval spiritual master that as long as he toasted, he would have a meteoric rise in the future. Of course, before you cultivate in seclusion, you should go home and take a look. Don't let your family worry. The primeval spiritual master said again. This sentence was a threat. The primeval spiritual master secretly gritted his teeth. Thinking of his family, he finally took out a pot of wine from the table and poured it for Lin Ling, Yu, and the others. Lin Ling's eyes flashed strangely. He felt that there was something wrong with the primeval spiritual master, but he could not tell what exactly it was. In the end, he chose to believe in his friend. Lin Ling, Yu, and Yuer, the crown prince of the spirit tribe, the princess of Black Feather, it is my blessing to have met all of you in this life. After today, we will meet again in a year. This wine is to send you off. The primeval spiritual master poured the wine and said sincerely to Lin Ling and the others. Lin Ling and the others stood up, holding the wine cup and said one after another. They had worked together not long ago. Although the time was short, they could be considered as half-comrades. We will meet again in the genius tournament in a year's time. The primeval spiritual master, don't be weaker than me. Lin Ling looked at the primeval spiritual master and said with a tone of challenge. He was not arrogant because he was stronger than the primeval spiritual master. Hearing this, the primeval spiritual master's heart warmed, but various thoughts appeared in his mind. Lin Ling treated him sincerely and treated him as a true friend. How could the primeval spiritual master harm him? Stop, the wine is poisonous. Chapter 2049. Poisoned. This was the most difficult decision he had ever made in his life. The palm of his hand was flesh, and the back of his hand was also flesh. However, Lin Ling treated him sincerely. He really couldn't frame Lin Ling. The wine is poisoned? The faces of the crown prince and the others changed drastically. They looked at the wine in their hands in shock. Even Lin Ling frowned. Senior brother, what's going on? From the look on Yuanshi Gugu's face, she seemed to have just found out about this. She looked at Lin Ling with worry in her eyes. At this moment, Yuanshi stepped forward and knocked the wine out of Lin Ling's hand. I'm sorry, I took advantage of your trust. But this wine is poisonous, you can't drink it. With that, he turned around and knelt before the primeval spiritual master. A master for a day is a father for life. Master's orders, this disciple does not dare to disobey. But to poison my friends, I, Yuanshi, cannot do it. If you want to kill me or behead me, master can do it. As soon as he finished speaking, the mountaintop fell silent. Lin Ling and the rest looked at the primeval spiritual master. Did the primeval spiritual master want to harm them? Obviously, this result was beyond their imagination because they had a good impression of the primeval spiritual master. Yuanshi, you really know how to joke. However, to everyone's surprise, primeval Zhenren's face was as calm as an ancient well. He slowly walked out, picked up primeval Zhenren's wine jug, raised his head and drank it. Then, he asked, "This wine is poisonous?" His words were sarcastic, but everyone saw that the primeval spiritual master was safe and sound, which shocked everyone. The primordial beginning Zhenren smiled and came to the crown prince of the spirit tribe again. He took his wine cup and drank it. "This wine is poisoned?" he asked again. Boom! Yuanshi's heart exploded. How could this be? Lin Ling and the others frowned. For a moment, they were confused. Yuanshi, I never thought that one day, you would slander my master like this. Yuanshi Zhenren said indifferently, but his face became colder and colder. Master, I. Yuanshi was stunned, he still did not understand what had happened. However, what the primeval spiritual master said next made everyone feel as if they were struck by lightning. I treated you like a son and hoped that you could inherit my mantle in the future. Unfortunately, you disappointed me too much. You were too soft-hearted and indecisive. Fortunately, I didn't believe you from the beginning. Therefore, the wine was indeed not poisonous, but the poison was in the primeval immortal peach. After saying this, the primeval spiritual master's face actually shone with a sinister light. Seeing this, Lin Ling's face turned gloomy. He believed in the primeval sage because of the primeval sage, but he didn't expect the primeval sage to deceive his own disciple. Puff! Almost at the same time, Yu, the spirit clan crown prince, and the others all spat out mouthfuls of blood. The blood was pitch black, and when it landed on the ground, it actually burned the earth. Burning law sky poison. Seeing the blood that Yu and the others spat out, Lin Ling's face changed dramatically. The burning law sky poison was a kind of fruit liquid that could burn a martial artist's source of strength. It was invisible and colorless, and even soul power and the power of law couldn't detect it. It was extremely vicious. However, this kind of rare poisonous fruit only appeared in the martial god realm. He didn't expect to see it here. The burning law sky poison's effect was to turn a mortal realm giant into a useless person, and his source of strength would be completely burned. Apparently, the primeval spiritual master had hidden the poison in the primeval immortal peach. With this thought in mind, Lin Ling also sensed that the source of strength in his dantian was bursting with a terrifying power. It spread out from the source of strength, and his source of strength was being burned by the poison. This kind of burning was not painful, and was not as terrible as the severing 3 corpses, but it was more dangerous. It was like a worm, constantly devouring the source of strength. Master, you. Only then did the primeval spiritual master know that his master didn't believe him at all and had already prepared a backup plan. Father, why are you doing this? Yuanshi Guer also exclaimed and looked at Lin Ling worriedly. She worshipped Lin Ling from the bottom of her heart. They have treasures on them, so they can't leave this place. In a year's time, they will also be my opponents, so I will kill them if I can. The primeval spiritual master said calmly, with a hint of madness in his words. Lin Ling, I'm sorry, I've harmed you. The primeval spiritual master hurriedly said to Lin Ling, feeling extremely guilty. Lin Ling's face was a little pale, but he waved his hand and laughed. It's your master who wants to harm us, not you. This means that I, Lin Ling, didn't misjudge you. Hearing this, the primeval spiritual master was even more touched. As for the primeval spiritual master, he narrowed his eyes. Lin Ling couldn't escape death, but he was still so heroic. No wonder he was the #1 genius of the human race. So what? You're going to die here today. The primeval spiritual master made a complicated seal with his hands and then shouted, "Primeval reincarnation." A mysterious force rose from the foot of the mountain. It was the primeval chi. It was said that this power of law was extremely ancient. Although it didn't have any special characteristics, it was very domineering. When the hazy clouds and mist reached the top of the mountain, it formed a white vortex in the sky. It was a shocking sight. At the foot of the mountain, a large number of elites had also arrived. They seemed to have received an order to make Lin Ling and the rest stay here forever. Moreover, they were very excited. It was said that the entire city was looking for Lin Ling. But what if Lin Ling died in the hands of the primeval royal family? This was undoubtedly a great honor. Moreover, this would also make the Divine Marquis Mansion and the North Celestial royal family owe them a favor. Master, no. Seeing the terrifying white vortex, the primeval spiritual master knelt down and went to the primeval spiritual master. Get lost. The primeval spiritual master kicked him away, his face even darker. Lin Ling, what should we do? I don't think I can use the power of law. Moreover, my source of corporeal force is being continuously devoured. Yu, the crown prince of the spirit tribe, and the princess of Black Feather all said anxiously. Life and death depended on this moment. At this time, Lin Ling was undoubtedly their backer. I found this poisonous fruit in a secret realm in the Grand Saint Realm. I checked the ancient records and mixed the liquid of Dharma ignition. Once you are entangled by the Dharma ignition poison, no one can cure you. The only outcome is that you will become a cripple. The primeval spiritual master walked forward step by step. Moreover, in Lin Ling's primeval immortal peach, I put the most liquid of Dharma ignition. You, Lin Ling, will go from being the #1 genius to being the #1 trash. Ha ha ha. The primeval spiritual master was extremely excited. Die. He could not suppress his murderous intent and reached out with his hand. Master. The primeval spiritual master was severely injured by the kick, but he quickly crawled over and hugged the primeval spiritual master's leg, trying to stop him. You used your disciples' respect to harm others. You are so ugly. But if you want to keep us here, you are still lacking. Humph. Lin Ling's eyes were extremely cold. He stretched out his sleeve, and the small saint turned into a black torrent and rushed out. He opened his bloody mouth and was about to reverse the situation. I knew you had a powerful pet. Unfortunately, I was prepared. The primeval tri-chi of the primeval origin is the path of the Jade Void. Humph. Chapter 2050. Despicable. Seeing this, Lin Ling frowned slightly. The primeval Zhenren was one of the giants in the mortal realm. A minor saint should not be weaker than him. Indeed, my Jade Virtual Road cannot stop your mysterious ancient snake. Yuanshi Zhenren suddenly said with a cold smile on his face. However, it can delay the ancient snake for 2 hours. Boom. Upon hearing this, Lin Ling and the others raised their heads and looked at the sky. They saw that after the vortex sucked in the little saint, it actually formed a spiral path of laws. The little saint was walking on the path of laws. It seemed that he couldn't break through the spiral path. A maze. This word appeared in Lin Ling's mind. The strength of a minor saint was not weaker than that of the primeval spiritual being. However, sometimes, there was no need to defeat a minor saint. It was enough to keep a minor saint occupied. Without a little saint, how was Lin Ling going to stop the overlords of the mortal world? At this moment, even Yu and the others could see the primeval Jinren's intention. No wonder the primeval Jinren dared to attack Lin Ling. He already had a plan. Lin Ling, you didn't think that you would die here, did you? The primeval beginning immortal seemed to be in control of the entire situation. But at this time, primeval Lord of Heaven once again stood in front of primeval Jinren and hugged his leg. You dare to stop me? The primeval spiritual master lowered his head and bellowed. A teacher for a day is a father for life. I don't dare to stop you, but I can't watch Lin Ling and the others die in your hands. They trusted me, I can't let them down. Yuan Shizi raised his head and said. For the sake of friendship, you actually gave up your own future. Are you stupid? Get lost. Yuanshi Jinren struck out with his palm, causing Yuanshi Jinren to spit out blood and fly 100 meters away. Yuanshi Jinren stepped forward again, wanting to kill Lin Ling and the others. Lin Ling and the others had lost the ability to fight. They all looked coldly at the primeval Jinren. However, seeing how ugly the primeval Jinren was, the crown prince of the spirit tribe cursed, "Old man, you wear human skin, but your heart is as ugly as a maggot. Why didn't your father shoot you on the wall? What a foul mouth. I'll kill you first." Yuanshi Jinren had never been scolded so harshly before. His face immediately turned ashen. I cannot let them down. But at this moment, a shadow came from afar and hugged the primeval Jinren again. It was the primeval Jinren. Scram! The anger on primeval Jinren's face intensified. He stomped his foot and heavily injured primeval Jinren, causing him to lie on the ground. I cannot let them down. However, primeval Lord of Heaven quickly got up and hugged primeval Jinren's leg again. From the beginning to the end, he did not make a move, nor did he dare to hit his master. He only used his body to stop the primeval Jinren. Yuanshi Zi, don't be silly. He doesn't treat you as a disciple. He's just using you. The crown prince of the spirit tribe couldn't take it anymore and roared. I know, but a teacher for a day is a father for life. Yuanshi Zi said firmly. Although he also felt that his master was very ugly, his principle did not allow him to attack his master. Therefore, if he wanted to stop his master, he could only rely on his own life. That's right. You treat me as your master, but I don't treat you as a disciple. If it weren't for your talent, do you think you could have become my first disciple? Primeval Jinren's face did not change at all. Instead, he mercilessly struck out with his palm. Rumble. The mountain shook. Under the palm, all the bones in primeval Jinren's body were shattered. It was as if he was locked to the ground. Seeing this, the primeval Jinren snorted and moved forward again. However, just as he moved, his right ankle was grabbed by an arm again. I can't let them down. It was still the same sentence. He was still as determined as ever. He was still using his life to stop his master. At this moment, Lin Ling and the rest were moved. They treated primeval Jinren as their own brother. Unfortunately, the primeval Jinren did not care. He stomped his left foot and broke primeval Jinren's arm. Then, he looked at Lin Ling with a sneer on his face. In his opinion, Lin Ling was definitely going to die. Moreover, so many people wanted to kill Lin Ling, but they all failed. He was the only one who succeeded. Thinking about it, he felt proud. Sect leader, kill him. In the distance, the disciples of the primeval royal family were cheering. They were also waiting for a miracle. However, just as the primeval Jinren was about to strike, a figure in white suddenly blocked in front of Lin Ling. "Father, don't kill him." That person was primeval Guzi. Seeing this, even Lin Ling was extremely surprised. "You are all crazy." The primeval Jinren was furious. It was fine if his disciples stopped him, but now even his daughter was stopping him. "Get out of my way, or don't blame me for killing you." The primeval Jinren's face was filled with murderous intent. "Father, I asked senior brother to invite him here for my own selfish reasons. If anything happens to him here, I will feel guilty. I just want to see my idol up close. I don't want to hurt him. Father, let him go." Primeval Guzi said as she knelt down. "Guzi." Looking at the seemingly boneless primeval Guzi, Yu and the others' eyes flickered. They were not so repulsed by this woman anymore. Lin Ling was still standing there. At this moment, his dantian was still burning, causing him to be unable to use his strength. However, he was still a third transformation Wusheng, and he had even severed 3 corpses. His laws and corporeal power source were stronger than ordinary people. In addition, he was very knowledgeable, so he found a temporary way to break it. It was to fight poison with poison, allowing the corporeal power source to burn. However, this required a short period of time. Moreover, there was a method in his memory that allowed him to know that if this liquid was combined with a few heavenly treasures, not only would it not be poisonous, it would also be a great supplement. "Father." At this moment, primeval Guzi shouted again. "Sigh." The primeval Jinren sighed softly, "You know that father loves you the most." Seeing this, primeval Guzi finally smiled. Her father seemed to have compromised. She could not help but walk towards the primeval Jinren. However, just as she walked towards the primeval Jinren's eyes flashed coldly, and he slapped out fiercely, "No one can stop me, including you." Boom! That terrifying slap landed on primeval Guzi's body, causing her to spit out a mouthful of blood. She was smashed into the distance, and the blood splattered on her white dress. It was so poignant. "Old bastard." The spiritual crown prince and the others were furious. As the saying went, even a vicious tiger would not eat its cubs. However, the primeval Jinren did not even spare his own daughter for his own ambitions. He was truly insane. "You have no right to criticize me. For now, you should take care of yourselves." The primeval Jinren's expression turned colder. He blamed all of primeval Guzi's injuries on Lin Ling and the others. If not for Lin Ling and the others, would his disciple and daughter have resisted him? Your daughter, your disciple, at least they still have their own conscience, but you have nothing. Ugly, as a master, as a father, you are truly ugly. At this moment, Lin Ling, who had been silent all this while, finally spoke. His voice was like a knife that stabbed into the primeval Jinren's heart, causing his face to twist. "Shut up." Chapter 2051. The Yellow Springs Army once again displayed its might. "You think I'm here for you? I am here for Yuanshi Z and also for your daughter to fulfill their wishes. You, Yuanshi Jinren, are simply discrediting them. In the end, you will be betrayed by everyone and no one will be willing to be with you. Even if there is, they will learn how to use you and will use you in the future. You will be alone for life." Lin Ling spoke again, his words like a gem. "Die." His words seemed to have hit the sore spot of the primeval Lord of Heaven, making him even more murderous. Primeval Heavenly Finger. He pointed a finger at Lin Ling, and the spiral laws shot out. The entire mountain peak swayed, and the expressions of the disciples on the mountain peak changed drastically. They didn't think that the sect master would actually use his full strength to kill Lin Ling. However, Lin Ling was definitely going to die. Even if he wasn't poisoned, he wouldn't be a match for the sect leader, let alone now. Brother Ling. Lin Ling. Many voices rang out at the same time. Yuanshi Zi, Yuanshi Guer, Yu, and the others were extremely worried. Do you think I only have a little saint as my trump card? Sorry, I still have a trump card. Lin Ling's eyes turned even colder in the face of the terrifying killing intent. A large amount of light shot out from his chest like a shadow, as if he had opened the door to the ghost world. The Yellow Springs army had arrived. Protect the Lord. Kill. The Yellow Springs army rode on the primordial divine crow and charged towards the primordial spiritual master without fear of death. Among them were Lord Pu, Lord Shui Wu, and the others. In the past, because they were too weak, they could only retire in the rainforest. Now that they had become souls, their strength had greatly increased. This was because their strength was closely related to Lin Ling's Yellow Springs flame. You're courting death. Apparently, the primeval sage did not take the army of the Netherworld seriously. He was a LV5 martial emperor, not the Desolation Sons. However, this time, he was about to be surprised. The Yellow Springs army held powerful immortal weapons in their hands. They attacked like locusts. Sabers, spears, arrows, axes, all kinds of crazy attacks. Primeval spiritual master's pupils constricted. Rumble. His full power finger was broken, and he was sent flying by the impact of the millions of ancient Empyrean divine crows. He spat out blood and landed in the distant sky. Isn't your dark crow only at the first level of the martial emperor realm? Yuanshi Zhenren opened his mouth wide in disbelief. In the past, yes. But now that he has a peerless immortal weapon, his strength is beyond my imagination. Lin Ling walked forward step by step. Not only was Yuanshi Zhenren surprised, even Yu and the others were surprised. Lin Ling actually had such a powerful trump card? You've got a good plan, Yang Qi said. You've suppressed both my minor saints and myself. Unfortunately, you've underestimated my Yellow Springs army. Lin Ling's voice continued to float out, causing the primeval spiritual master's pupils to constrict. He did not expect that Lin Ling was even more difficult to deal with than he had imagined. Kill him. Whoever kills him, I'll make him the head disciple. The primeval spiritual master shouted angrily, causing the experts of the primeval royal family to become restless. If you become the eldest disciple, you might reach the same height as Yuanshi Zi. I can do it. Those disciples were tempted. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent when they looked at Lin Ling. No one would miss the chance to become stronger, not even the primeval spiritual master. Otherwise, he would not have taken the risk to attack Lin Ling. Are you all blind? He even used his daughter. Isn't he using you all now? Lin Ling looked at the experts around him and said. Although he could use his full strength to a small extent, his strength was greatly reduced. So, it was better if he did not fight. Hearing that, those disciples fell into deep thought. He's poisoned. He's just trying to scare you. If you miss the chance, he will escape. Yuanshi Zhenren said coldly, trying to provoke the desire in the hearts of the disciples. Hearing that, the disciples suppressed their murderous intent once again filled the air. That's right. Lin Ling has been poisoned by the burning magic poison. He will become a cripple in the end. So, why should they be afraid of him? Moreover, even if they could not kill Lin Ling, they did not have to be afraid of Lin Ling's revenge. Because Lin Ling had become a cripple. You're just a piece of trash. How dare you talk nonsense? Our primeval royal family treated you sincerely, but you came to our primeval royal family to behave atrociously. If we don't kill you today, how can we convince the others? Kill him. Those disciples were ready to attack. Moreover, they were lying through their teeth. Hypocrite. Hearing those words, the crown prince of the spirit clan and the others shouted angrily. Lin Ling's eyes became colder. Among the primeval royal family, only the primeval spiritual master and the primeval spiritual master had a good temper. The others were like the primeval spiritual master. You must think carefully. I'm wrong. A ninth stage expert of Wu Sheng's realm rushed over. Senior brother Bai is so fast. We can't let him take advantage of us. Attack! The other disciples were not to be outdone. Seeing that, Lin Ling finally exploded his murderous intent. Go to hell. Die? You're poisoned and you want me to die? Huh. Those disciples who attacked laughed wildly. They felt that Lin Ling was simply talking in his sleep. But the next scene made them know that this was not a dream. Yellow Spring Army. From Lin Ling's purple palace, even more Yellow Spring's army flew out. It was a majestic sight that shocked the heavens and earth. Those terrifying ghost army rode on ancient divine crows and held powerful immortal weapons. When they flew past, a large number of disciples were killed. Blood spilled from the sky and from the mountain top. How terrifying! That mysterious army of ghosts is too fast. Why does he have so many Yellow Spring army? Not good, I'm not killing anymore. Those disciples shouted in horror. They began to believe the words of the primeval spiritual master, thinking that Lin Ling was strong in appearance but weak in reality. But who knew that they seemed to have underestimated Lin Ling? Not killing anymore? However, Lin Ling coldly spat out a sentence. He controlled the Yellow Spring army and chased after them again. Lin Ling, don't go too far. Those disciples were furious. They didn't even touch a single hair on Lin Ling's body. In the end, Lin Ling killed them until they were completely defeated. This was going too far. What can you do if I go too far? On top of the mountain, Lin Ling was like the Yellow Spring Great Emperor. Above his head, there were ghosts floating around. Moreover, those ghosts pounced towards the entire primitive royal family and massacred everything. Ah, save me. No, why are these terrifying things not afraid of the power of law? I'm not killing anymore, please spare my life. Those disciples all begged for mercy. Unfortunately, they couldn't kill Lin Ling, so they begged for mercy. It was already too late. Look at your master. He's watching you from afar because he wants to know if I've reached my limit. However, he's afraid of my ancient divine crow, so he used you guys to probe. Lin Ling laughed coldly, causing the hearts of those disciples to tremble. They stared at the primeval spiritual master and suddenly realized that they were stupid. Chapter 2052. Who could stop him? Die. And now, the primeval spiritual master seized the opportunity to deal a fatal blow. Because the primeval divine crows were scattered, and Lin Ling was poisoned. Other than external objects, he was as weak as a mortal. If he didn't kill him, he would miss the opportunity. Primeval Dragon Elephant Bo Ruo. The mighty power of law came, reaching tens of thousands, causing the entire mountain peak to explode. A colossal dragon elephant appeared in the sky. Lin Ling. The crown prince of the spirit race and the rest were smashed down by the rocks, but they also anxiously shouted. Right now, Lin Ling was supporting them. If not for Lin Ling, they would have died long ago. Boom! The terrifying power of law smashed down, causing the ground to explode. The soaring shockwave was shocking, even attracting the attention of the experts in Crystal City. In the sky, the primeval spiritual master panted heavily, looking at the ground excitedly. This time, he should be dead. But in the next moment, his pupils constricted. In the dust, a figure appeared, standing there like an undefeatable giant. His cold eyes met the primeval spiritual master's, releasing intense sparks. Who else could it be but Lin Ling? How is this possible? The primeval spiritual master roared. How could Lin Ling block his all-out attack? He didn't know that although Lin Ling couldn't use the power of law, he could use his soul power. With the help of the law of evasion, he easily dodged his law. What a pitiful person. You thought you had everything under control, but in the end, you still can't kill me. And I can tell you, if I don't die today, you will die without a doubt. On the ground, Lin Ling softly spat out a voice. Boom! Although the voice was calm, it struck the primeval spiritual master's heart like thunder. At this moment, he was a little panicked. Mad God Lin Ling, unless you can kill him 100%, you can't be his enemy. This was a well-known fact in the human world. Originally, he shouldn't have provoked Lin Ling, but the treasure attracted him. Moreover, the liquid of Dharma ignition boosted his confidence. But who knew that Lin Ling was more difficult to deal with than he imagined? Inexplicably, he suddenly regretted it. Little saint, come back. While the primeval spiritual master was panicking, Lin Ling shouted again. He had held on until the minor saint escaped from the maze. Rumble. In the sky, a black torrent swam down. It was mighty and mighty, causing Crystal City to shake. With the return of a little saint and the addition of the primordial divine crow, it was clear that Lin Ling was even more difficult to kill. Even he, the primordial spiritual master, was in danger. Damn it! Yuan Zhenren's face grew paler and paler. He seemed to have failed and provoked Lin Ling for no reason. You cannot kill me. After a moment of hesitation, Yuan Zhenren extended his right hand and brought Yuan Gugu over to threaten Lin Ling. If Lin Ling dared to kill him, he would kill Yuan Gugu first. Bastard! Seeing that ruthless action, even Primeval Lord of the Origin started to curse. Could the primeval spiritual master be any more shameless? Lin Ling, let's forget about today's matter. Holding Yuan Gugu's neck, Yuan Zhenren frowned and said, ignoring the curses of others. Pervert, even a vicious tiger will not eat its cubs. How dare you use your daughter to threaten Lin Ling? Lin Ling, don't care about him, kill him. The crown prince of the spirit tribe and the black feather princess shouted angrily. However, Lin Ling frowned. He looked at Yuan Gugu calmly and saw deep sadness in her eyes. Yuan Gugu worshipped Lin Ling from the bottom of her heart like an idol. However, her father wanted to kill Lin Ling. This made her feel very conflicted. Therefore, she did not know what to do now. However, she still hoped that Lin Ling would ignore her and teach her father a lesson. Of course, it was only a lesson. You have a good daughter. In the end, Lin Ling spat out a few words. He finally decided not to attack. He could not watch Yuan Gugu die in the hands of her father. Moreover, he believed that Yu and the rest would not want him to be so heartless. Lin Ling, you are too soft-hearted. I admit that I can't kill you. However, the tournament of elites is about to begin. By then, you will be a cripple. Let's see if you dare to participate. If you do, I will kill you with my own hands. After knowing that Lin Ling did not dare to attack, Yuan Zhenren was finally relieved. However, he still shouted ferociously. I will definitely participate in this tournament. When the time comes, I will settle all the old and new grudges. See you in a year. Lin Ling stared at Yuan Zhenren mockingly. After saying that, he left with the rest. He did not look like someone who had been poisoned at all. Instead, he looked carefree. For some reason, seeing Lin Ling leave calmly, Yuan Zhenren's face turned extremely ugly. Was he going to let Lin Ling leave just like that? Who is going to stop him? Yuan Zhenren shouted angrily. However, just as his voice fell, the sky was filled with ancient divine crows. They were like an army from hell, sweeping everything away. Ah! Help! A large number of painful cries came from the Yuanshi royal family. Lin Ling was telling Yuanshi Zhenren that if he wanted to leave, who could stop him? This arrogant action undoubtedly made Yuanshi Zhenren's body tremble in anger. Lin Ling was already poisoned. However, their entire royal family was still unable to stop Lin Ling alone, including him. This was undoubtedly a great humiliation. Little saint. Moreover, although Lin Ling had lost the ability to fight, he would not let today's matter rest. Therefore, he summoned the little saint to sweep away the Yuanshi royal family. Immortal realm? Let it become hell from now on. Rumble. The beautiful environment of the Yuanshi royal family was now destroyed by the little saint. The mountains fell, the ancient lakes were drowned, and the red-crowned cranes and cheilants were swallowed by the little saint. It was quite a mess. Alright, today's trip to the Yuanshi royal family has satisfied me. I will take my leave now. After destroying most of the Yuanshi royal family, Lin Ling said to Yuanshi Zhenren with a faint smile. Satisfied? Yuanshi Zhenren looked at the destroyed immortal realm and almost spat out a mouthful of blood. However, he did not dare to make a move and could only stand there stupidly. Yuanshi Zhenren, let's go. Lin Ling ignored him and shouted at Yuanshi Zhenren. Yuanshi Zhenren was a little hesitant. He could not let go of the shackles in his heart. If he treats you like a master, you will treat him like a father. However, he treats you like an aunt. Why do you still care about old feelings? Moreover, you have already repaid the favor you owe him. Lin Ling said again. Yuanshi Zhenren finally nodded. Indeed, he had already repaid the favor. From now on, he and Yuanshi Zhenren were no different than strangers. Then, a primordial divine crow carried him away. Lin Ling, where is my junior sister? However, Yuanshi Zhenren was still very worried about Yuanshi Guer. In fact, Yu and the others were also very worried about Yuanshi Guer. This was because Yuanshi Guer had saved them before. This girl was actually very kind and even a little pure. She will be fine. Yes. Chapter 2053. He would become a cripple. Rumble. At the same time, the little saint swam back and brought Lin Ling and the others to the distant sky. Watching Lin Ling leave, the primeval spiritual master stood in the sky angrily with a gloomy face. He could only watch as Lin Ling left safely. What happened? It's Lin Ling. Oh no, he's going to escape. Not long after, all the experts from Crystal City arrived. Unfortunately, they were too late, so they all stared at the Yuanshi royal family in astonishment. Lin Ling is here. Yuanshi Zhenren, if you knew that Lin Ling was here, why didn't you inform us? The North Immortal Emperor stared at Yuanshi Zhenren and complained. Originally, I almost could have killed him, but unfortunately, I still underestimated his strength. The primeval spiritual master let out a low growl. Almost. You piece of trash. Of course, the primeval spiritual master was also very angry, because the treasure was taken away by Lin Ling, and he didn't get anything. It doesn't matter. He has been poisoned by the burning magic poison. He will definitely become a cripple in a year. He has already fallen. Ha ha ha. As if he had thought of something, the primeval spiritual master suddenly threw his head back and laughed. Perhaps this was his only consolation. Poison of burning law. This is great. I didn't expect that you, the primeval Zhenren, would obtain such a treasure from the martial god realm and poison Lin Ling. The North Deity Emperor and the Deity Marquis were stunned for a moment. Then, they burst out laughing. Although they couldn't kill Lin Ling with their own hands, seeing Lin Ling become a cripple still made them feel great. They only left Lin Ling with a year to live. After a year, even if they didn't kill Lin Ling, others would kill Lin Ling. Spread the news that the human world legend Lin Ling has become a cripple. They believed that once this news came out, the mortal world would definitely be in an uproar. Then are we still going to chase after Lin Ling? Someone said suddenly. Chase? Why should we chase? In fact, if I knew who wanted to kill Lin Ling, I would be the first to disagree. Because letting Lin Ling die now would be letting Lin Ling off easy. Letting him fall from heaven to hell before dying would be the greatest torture. That's a good suggestion. I'm looking forward to next year's tournament. I wonder how Lin Ling will react when he is trampled by the 4 great clans. Everyone laughed out loud again. They laughed happily and carefreely. It was actually very easy to kill a piece of trash. However, to let a piece of trash experience the fickleness of human nature and be abandoned by everyone was undoubtedly more satisfying than killing a piece of trash. Lin Ling had turned Crystal City into a mess and caused a sensation in the city. But now, he should have received the consequences. Rumors were always the fastest. Like rolling snowballs, they crazily spread out. Human race, devil race, ghost race, and divine race all knew that Lin Ling had become a cripple. Lin Ling was crippled? How could this be? It said that it's the law ignition liquid. This kind of treasure from the martial god world has yet to be broken. Then Lin Ling's source of power will be burned up. Trash? Huh, interesting. Those who had a grudge against Lin Ling were all in high spirits and were looking forward to it. The Prodigy tournament was undoubtedly the focus of attention. At this moment, above the chaotic demon sea, Lin Ling and the others did not know that the news had spread throughout the human world. They sat cross-legged with downcast expressions. Because they had been poisoned by the law ignition poison, they could feel that the source of power in their dantian was rapidly disappearing. This feeling was not good. They were all top geniuses of the human world and had long been used to the situation of being above tens of thousands of people. But now, they had fallen from heaven to hell. They could imagine that when their relatives, friends, senior and junior brothers saw them again, they would definitely reveal a mocking expression. It's all my fault. Yuanshi Zi looked guiltily at the spirit race crown prince and the others. What does it have to do with you? In fact, you didn't know at all. The spirit race crown prince punched Yuanshi Zi's chest and laughed. Sigh. Yuanshi Zi sighed again. When he looked at Lin Ling, his pupils suddenly trembled violently. Lin Ling was drinking wine in a carefree manner. The spirit race crown prince also opened his mouth wide. Even if he wanted to drink, he should have picked a good time. How could he still be in the mood to drink at this time? Don't look like your parents are dead. This law ignition liquid is actually not bad. Lin Ling looked at them and laughed. Not bad? Yuanshi Zi and the others were all stunned. They were about to become cripples, and this was not bad? This law ignition fruit comes from the martial god world. In today's world, no one can break it. Lin Ling said. Yuanshi Zi and the others blinked. How could they not know this? However, in today's world, there is one person who can break it, and that is me. Lin Ling smiled and said. Yuanshi Zi and the others narrowed their eyes. The poison from the martial god world, even the ancient giants could not break it, but Lin Ling could? Was he bragging? However, in order to break this poison, you will need a few extremely rare treasures. These treasures have only appeared a few times in the human world. Lin Ling said again. Yuanshi Zi and the others sighed. Lin Ling's words were equivalent to not saying anything. In fact, it was probably impossible to break the poison. Fortunately, although the treasures required are rare, they are all in the previous treasure trove. What Lin Ling said next made Yuanshi Zi and the others feel dizzy. Could it be that their law ignition poison could be broken? Brother Ling, you mean, we won't become cripples? Yu asked expectantly. Not only that, but with the help of the law ignition poison, your strength will increase by 1 realm. Lin Ling began to take out a large number of treasures. One had to admit that if he did not obtain the treasure trove in Crystal City, Lin Ling would have become a cripple. Not only will we not be crippled, but our strength will increase? Yu and the others were overjoyed. However, when they heard the process of breaking the poison, they could not help but smile bitterly. This was because Lin Ling was fighting poison with poison. With the law ignition poison, he burned the power of law and the source of real force into nothingness. Then, he was reborn. Ordinary people would not be able to endure this process. Ah, my father, my mother, why is it so painful to burn the source of real force? Yuanshi Zi was the one who cried the loudest. Lin Ling could not help but give him a slap. My wife and the others have endured it. What are you yelling for? However, the crown prince of the spirit tribe also began to dance. Black blood flowed out of his body and he became a bloody man. He was in so much pain that he wailed like a ghost. Lin Ling was speechless. Yu, and Yuer, and the Black Feather Princess had all endured the pain. In the end, these 2 men were in so much pain that they howled without caring about their image. This was simply a disgrace to men. When they passed by the 18 islands of the spirit tribe, Lin Ling threw the crown prince of the spirit tribe out. Now that their poison had been broken, it was up to them now. Lin Ling brought Yu and headed towards the sacred land of the rainforest. At this moment, the human realm was still filled with rumors. Have you heard? Lin Ling went to the saint's grand domain and challenged 3 human immortal royal families alone. He turned Crystal City upside down and finally left safely. Chapter 2054. As a guest. It's a pity that Lin Ling isn't invincible. He has been poisoned by the martial god world, and no one can cure him. He'll become a cripple sooner or later. The burning law poison comes from the burning law fruit. I heard that even the ancient giants couldn't cure it. What a pity, Lin Ling will fall just like that. Among the 3 mysterious of the mortal world, some felt pity, some rejoiced in his misfortune, and some felt refreshed. At this moment, in the rainforest sacred land, many experts also heard the news. Big brother, he'll be fine. That's right, those are just rumors. The Fire Spirit Princess, Little Flame, and the 9 spirits of heaven were extremely worried. Everyone knew that in this world, strength reigned supreme. Therefore, if Lin Ling became a cripple, he would also lose everything. Moreover, his enemies would definitely come to kill him. Of course, some people couldn't wait until the competition. Now, the time had come. Lin Ling, where are you? The rainforest sacred land that had just been rebuilt was now greeted with a loud roar that shook the entire sacred land. As expected, kind people will be bullied. Those experts know that Lord Lin Ling has become a cripple, so they're all here to settle the score. My rainforest sacred land has just been peaceful for a while, and now they're here to bully us. Why should we be afraid of them? Go! The experts of the rainforest sacred land were furious. Holding their weapons, they all walked out. The Fire Spirit Princess, Little Flame, and the others were also on guard. In the sky, a gorgeous carriage arrived. The one pulling the carriage was a white unicorn, which looked even more noble. A moment later, a figure walked out of the carriage. She wore a gorgeous phoenix robe and a pearl crown. She was the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother. It's her. Seeing her, everyone was shocked. If it was an ordinary person, they wouldn't be afraid. However, the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was a legend of the mortal world. They couldn't face her. What are you all doing? I came here today to see you. Could it be that you're so overbearing that you won't even let my daughter see you? Humph. The Jade Lake's heavenly mother looked at everyone with disdain and spoke in a harsh voice. Princess Fire Spirit, Ancestor Extreme Flame, and the others fell silent for a moment. The other party's words were very pleasant to hear. He had come to see his daughter, so they couldn't chase him away. Sister Yu, and the others are not here. Heavenly Mother, please go back. Princess Hualing lifted her small face and spoke politely. Impudent. Is it your turn to speak? Let Lin Ling come out and talk. Lin Ling is really full of feathers. He won't even let my daughter see him. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother coldly snorted, and a powerful aura burst out, causing the Fire Spirit Princess to groan and be slightly injured. She had just arrived and she was already putting on airs. Heavenly Mother's arrival is our rainforest Holy Land's blessing. However, Lin Ling really isn't here. If Heavenly Mother wants to see you and the others, you can come later. At this time, a crisp voice rang out. It was Lu Susu. She was smart because the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was clearly here to make things difficult. However, she used the excuse of looking for her daughter, so they couldn't use force and could only speak softly. Not here? Or is he recuperating? I heard that stinking brat became a waste, so I came to see how much of a waste he is. I can be considered half a mother to you and the others, so it's reasonable for me to come. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother said indifferently. She seemed to be here to visit you and the others, but in fact, she was here to behave atrociously and watch Lin Ling make a fool of himself. Although she didn't dare to touch Lin Ling, she still couldn't avoid ridicule. Waste? Ancestor Extreme Flame and the others' faces turned ugly. That old witch was too arrogant. What's wrong? You don't even know how to entertain people. Little girl, bring me a stool and pour me some hot tea. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother walked down from the sky and said arrogantly. Damn old witch. Lu Susu cursed secretly, but on the surface, she still showed a polite smile. She asked someone to bring a table and chairs and personally made a pot of hot tea. Bang! However, the moment the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother picked up the teacup, she immediately threw it at Lu Susu, splashing tea all over Lu Susu. As a maid, you don't even know how to pour tea? The water is too hot. How did Lin Ling teach you how to entertain guests? The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother raised her eyebrows and reprimanded as if Lu Susu was her maid. Damn it! Seeing this, everyone clenched their fists. However, Lu Susu forced a smile and said, "This is my fault. I hope Heavenly Mother won't take it to heart. Someone, bring me some warm water." Lu Susu was swallowing her anger because once a conflict broke out, the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother might use it as an excuse to make a fuss. Bang! However, the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother threw the teacup at Lu Susu again. What kind of tea is this? I'm a legend in the mortal world. Is this how you entertain me? Or is it that Lin Ling doesn't put me in his eyes? Fine, I came to visit Lin Ling personally because I care about him, but he treats me like this? Hearing this, Lu Susu lowered her head, feeling extremely wronged. She didn't say a word. Seeing Lu Susu being bullied, Patriarch Extreme Flame and the others were also furious. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother is a legend in the mortal world. Is it fun to bully a junior? At this time, a voice drifted over from afar. Looking carefully, several figures stepped on the clouds and came over. It was the 7 emperors. Jade Lake Heavenly Mother, weren't you in seclusion as a punishment? Did you sneak out now? If that lord finds out, you'll be in for a lot of trouble. Emperor Lisho walked down with a smile. Everyone kicks a man who is down. Currently, there were rumors that Lin Ling had become a cripple, so there were many people who wanted to make things difficult for him. However, he didn't expect the first to be the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother. "It's none of your business." Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's face was somewhat unsightly, but soon she sneered, "7 emperors, you are still very close to Lin Ling. Be careful not to be implicated by him. Because that guy has offended many people, and now he's a cripple. The following days will be difficult. What kind of person Lin Ling has become is none of your business. What do you want? If you want to fight, just say it." Emperor Yu also floated down and coldly shouted, "Fighting and killing is too rude. I'm here to care about Lin Ling, not to fight. Moreover, I'm here to remind you, be careful not to be implicated by a cripple. Of course, if you really want to fight, I'll accompany you. But if this spread out, people will say that you 7 emperors are too overbearing, not even allowing me to be a guest." Jade Lake Heavenly Mother picked up the teacup and leisurely said. Her appearance made people furious, but they couldn't do anything. After all, Jade Lake Heavenly Mother also said that she was here as a guest. "The tea has been drunk, and you've said your words. You can go now." Emperor Li's-ho and the others also endured. Chapter 2055. Domineering and Direct. 7 emperors, Lin Ling is already crippled. He can't participate in the tournament of prodigies. Do you still want to support him? In my opinion, this kind of trash should just be left to fend for himself. Why bother? He'll be killed sooner or later anyway. If I were you, I'd definitely distance myself from him. Come to Grandma. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother blew on her teacup and slowly said. Her words were sharp and harsh, but when she called Lin Yi's name, Lin Yi ignored her, making her secretly angry. Damned old witch. Curse her to step on shit when she goes out and choke to death when drinking water. Lu Susu, Princess Hualing and the others smiled, but they were cursing in their hearts. What a venomous mouth, as expected of the old witch. Even the 7 emperors were cursing in their hearts. However, on the surface, they were still enduring. Who is this person? Who told you to let the dog in when I wasn't around? Just as everyone was enduring, an angry shout came from afar. Many people turned around and saw that Lin Ling had returned, and beside him were Yu and the others. Lin Ling is back. Seeing the blue-white robed youth, everyone smiled with joy. Although it was rumored that Lin Ling had become a cripple, they didn't believe that rumor when they saw Lin Ling's trembling appearance. Dog? The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's face turned ugly. Even the 7 emperors didn't dare to shed all pretenses of cordiality. This Lin Ling had called her a dog the moment he arrived. His guts weren't small. Heavenly Mother. Yu and the others looked at the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother with a complicated expression. However, when they saw what happened to Lu Susu and the Fire Spirit Princess, they immediately complained. The Heavenly Mother was looking for trouble. Watch from the side. When Lin Ling saw what had happened to Lu Susu and the others, he was furious. He didn't provoke the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother anymore, but this old witch was still making things difficult for him. Lin Ling, I heard that you've become a cripple. Is that true? The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother saw Lin Ling and was very happy because she could finally see Lin Ling's downfall. That's right, I was poisoned. Lin Ling step by step. You're really poisoned? This is troublesome, there is no antidote. Do you remember Xianda? This person almost became a legend in the human world. Unfortunately, he was also poisoned by the burning magic poison. In the end, he gradually turned from a top expert to a cripple and was killed by his enemy. The 7 emperors and the others. Great. 2. Lin Ling step by step, but his eyes were cold. For some reason, the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's smile disappeared when she saw those cold eyes. I just feel that it's a pity. Lin Ling, you've become a cripple, so you and the others should follow me back. Even though she was still afraid of Lin Ling being a legend of the mortal world, she raised her chin high when she said this. If Lin Ling's step was smart, he would be flattering her now. After all, a cripple had no future. Follow you back? Lin Ling step by step. He finally arrived in front of the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother. Seeing her leisurely drinking tea, he felt even more unhappy. He picked up the teapot and poured the tea on her head. Chi! The tea flowed down the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's head and stained her face, making her look extremely miserable. However, she was stunned because of Lin Ling's step. The crowd was also stunned. Then, they couldn't help but laugh. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother looked like a drowned rat. You! The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's eyes narrowed. I'm sorry, this tea is too cold. Using it to serve the noble Heavenly Mother is a disgrace to her status. So, I have to pour the old tea away and prepare some new tea. Lin Ling said indifferently, but the teapot in his hand didn't stop pouring the tea on the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's body. After the tea was poured, Lin Ling step by step 9. He waved his right hand and ordered someone to brew a new pot of tea. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother sat there trembling. She was a dignified mortal world legend. How could she be drenched in tea in front of everyone? Do you know what you're doing? Or do you still think you're a mortal world legend? The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother said in a low voice. Lin Ling step 9 couldn't see through himself. I'm pouring tea. Lin Ling step 9 said indifferently. A new pot of tea was poured on the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's head. He was using his actions to tell the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother what he was doing. This guy. Even Emperor Li Shou and the others sucked in a breath of cold air. Although the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was despicable, she didn't shed all pretense of cordiality. She said that she came out of concern. Therefore, Lin Ling step 9 should treat her with respect. Who knew that Lin Ling step 9 would treat her so rudely? Come to drink tea. Then I'll let you drink to your heart's content. Although Lin Ling step 9 was a cripple, he was still arrogant. The 7 emperors and the others smiled bitterly. Are you forcing me to make a move? You should know that you're no match for me now. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother wiped the tea leaves off her face and stood up in anger. Lin Ling step 9 smiled and poured the remaining tea into his mouth. Then, he spat it out. The tea leaves once again stained the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's face. I'm forcing you to make a move. What can you do about it? After doing that, Lin Ling step 9 laughed. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was playing a hypocritical game with him, but he, Lin Ling step 9, didn't play the game and directly drove her away rudely. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother stood there like a drowned rat. She couldn't wait to attack. In her mind, Lin Ling step 9 was just a cripple. How dare he be so arrogant? Don't you know where you are? No matter how useless I, Lin Ling step 9, am, I'm not someone you can bully. Today's matter, for the sake of you and the others, I'll spare you. Now, get out of my sight and see the guest out. Go away. Lin Ling step 9 ignored her anger. After saying that, he turned around and left indifferently. That calmness undoubtedly made the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother's face even gloomier. Huh, not bad. See the guest out. Why aren't you leaving? Don't tell me you still want to stay for lunch. Go away. Maybe the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother is feeling guilty and wants to pour tea for us one by one. That's possible. But before pouring tea, she'd better wipe her face. That face full of tea leaves makes me want to vomit. Huh. In the rainforest's sacred ground, mocking voices drifted out. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother wished she could dig a hole and hide in it. Lin Ling Step 9, you're back. Huh. But at this moment, a pleasantly surprised voice came from the skies. A woman in a green robe walked down with light steps. Every movement of this woman was filled with the aura of a national beauty, and she was extremely gentle and beautiful. Of course, she was martial god Yungu. Apparently, she had heard that Lin Ling Step 9 was poisoned, so she came to visit him. I'm fine for now. Huh. Lin Ling Step 9 stopped and turned around with a smile. Chapter 2056. Tea was poured one by one. Her voice was filled with excitement. She took a few steps forward and knelt down in front of martial god Yungu. Lin Ling poured tea all over my body, humiliating me. I only came here to show concern for him, but he went too far. Master, you have to stand up for me. If not, how would others view the Yungu Immortal Foundation? Bang bang bang. After saying that, she kept kowtowing to ancient martial god Yunu. Right now, although Lin Ling was trash, there were still many strong people behind him. Therefore, she wanted her master to stand up for her. Moreover, her master had helped Lin Ling in the past, presumably because Lin Ling's talent was too strong. However, Lin Ling had already become a cripple, so her master probably wouldn't care about Lin Ling anymore. You mean he poured tea all over himself? Martial god Yungu frowned and looked indifferently at the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother. That's right. You see, I still have tea leaves with me. Not only that, he even threatened to destroy Yungu's immortal foundation. Hearing her master's cold tone, the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was delighted. She knew that her master was angry. Destroy Yungu's immortal foundation? Martial god Yungu said again. That's right, he's too arrogant. I'm only here to show some concern for him. Master, you must teach him a lesson. The Jade Lake's Heavenly Mother became even more agitated because she sensed that her master was getting angrier and angrier. Unfortunately, she didn't know that her anger wasn't directed at Lin Ling. You care for him? After that, he poured tea all over her body and even threatened to destroy Yungu's immortal foundation? If that's the case, give him 3 slaps. Ancient martial god Yun's face turned even colder. Fine, I'll give him 3 slaps. Let's see who dares to stop me. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother immediately felt proud and elated. She quickly stood up and sneered at Lin Ling before walking over with her chin held high. Now that she had her master's support, who would dare to be arrogant? Her gaze descended onto the 7 emperors and the others at the same time. As expected, the 7 emperors and the others revealed worried expressions. Obviously, the 7 emperors didn't dare to resist her master. At this moment, she had a feeling that the bitterness was over and the sweetness was about to begin. Lin Ling. In fact, the 7 emperors were indeed worried. An ancient overlord was not someone they could provoke. Unfortunately, Daoist Kame was not here. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to fear ancient martial god Yungu. However, Lin Ling was still standing there, his face as calm as an ancient well. Are you ready? I'll give you 3 slaps. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother arrived in front of Lin Ling and said, of course, kneel down and admit your mistake. Out of consideration for Yu and the rest, I won't make things difficult for you anymore. Hee, that's what I should say. For the sake of Yu and the others, if you kneel down and admit your mistake, I won't make things difficult for you anymore. However, what surprised the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was that Lin Ling actually repeated her words. Crazy. She thought that Lin Ling was absolutely crazy. I have nothing to say to you. Bring your face closer and I'll give you 3 resounding slaps. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was too lazy to explain. She raised her hand, but just as she was about to swing it, a cold voice came from behind her. When I asked you to give him 3 slaps, I asked you to give him 3 slaps, not the other way around. The voice was so familiar that the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother turned around in disbelief. The one who spoke was actually her master. At this moment, she suspected that she had misheard. Hit him. However, ancient martial god Yungu said again, telling her that this was not a dream. I don't know what Lin Ling did to you, but he poured tea all over you. This means that you did something that made him unhappy, so you have to hit him. Ancient martial god Yungu said coldly. In her heart, she didn't even dare to hit Lin Ling's face, let alone her disciple. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother felt as if she was struck by lightning. What kind of logic was this? Lin Ling made things difficult for her, and her master actually stood up for Lin Ling? Let him hit him until he's happy. Ancient martial god Yungu's voice came again. Not only the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother, but the 7 emperors also opened their mouths wide. Let Lin Ling hit him until he's happy? What kind of logic was this? Even if Lin Ling was ancient martial god Yungu's disciple, this was impossible. Bring your face closer, I'll give you 3 good slaps. Lin Ling was the only one who wasn't surprised. Then, he viciously threw a slap. Slap. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was dumbfounded. Slap. Another slap was thrown, and the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was still in a daze. Slap. After the 3rd slap, the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother finally reacted. She was hit, and it was 3 resounding slaps. Kneel. Lin Ling shouted coldly, apologize properly, and for Yu and the others' sake, I'll spare you this time. Kneel. Ancient martial god Yungu also spoke after Lin Ling's voice fell. Plop. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother was frightened and knelt down subconsciously. She was still confused. Last time, her master had told her not to provoke Lin Ling. At that time, she didn't believe it, but now she did. In her master's heart, Lin Ling was more important than her. Although she didn't know the reason, it was the truth. At this moment, she suddenly regretted it. If she had known that Lin Ling was so important, she wouldn't have come to see Lin Ling make a fool of himself. Are you convinced? Let me tell you, no matter how much I cripple you, it's easy for me to teach you a lesson. Lin Ling said indifferently, originally, I was too lazy to care about what happened before, but you were too arrogant. Now, go and pour tea for me. Pour tea for my grandfather, mother, and all my family and friends. If they are satisfied, then you can leave today. Heavens, how can I pour tea for so many people? The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother said with her mouth agape. That's none of my business. Lin Ling turned around and left, leaving the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother stunned. If you don't want to die, do as he says. Otherwise, don't blame me for disregarding our relationship as master and disciple. However, ancient martial god Yungu's next sentence made the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother obediently pour tea. She wasn't afraid of anyone but her master. Impudent. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother almost vomited blood when she heard ancient martial god Yungu's words. Impudent? How old was Lin Ling? Could it be that he was her grandmaster? Unfortunately, she didn't dare to ask the question in her heart. She could only obediently pour tea for Lu Susu. Although Lu Susu didn't know what happened, she trusted Lin Ling. She simply imitated the Jade Lake Heavenly Mother from before. She set the table and slowly drank tea. This tea is too cold. How are you a maid? Change the water. Lu Susu crossed her legs and said. Okay, right away. The Jade Lake Heavenly Mother gritted her teeth and said gloomily. A dignified legend of the mortal world had become a maid. The 7 emperors, Patriarch Taiyan, and the others were stunned for half an hour before they finally accepted this terrible fact. Then, they all began to worry about Lin Ling. Ancient martial god Yungu was the same because even she couldn't cure the burning law poison. It's okay, this poison won't kill me. Facing everyone's concern, Lin Ling replied with a smile. Chapter 2057. Starting point of the battle flag. There's still close to a year's time. The time isn't up yet, so it's hard to say. Lin Ling looked at Yu Yu and the others with a smile. Yu Yu and the others also smiled tacitly. At present, Yu Yu and the others' poison had been cured. Although Lin Ling's poison had not been cured, it was only a matter of time. And Yuer was the one who suggested that Lin Ling be kept a secret. If the secret was made public now, Lin Ling would become a thorn in their side and be assassinated by the devil race and ghost race. Therefore, it was better to hide the truth. This would save them a lot of trouble. However, that was indeed the truth. Lin Ling had become a cripple, and the experts of the four races no longer placed him in their eyes. They would wait until after the competition to kill Lin Ling. Sigh, then we can only wait for a year. The 7 emperors sighed softly and left behind their treasures. Then, they bid farewell and left. Ancient martial god Yungu was very familiar with Lin Ling's personality. She guessed that Lin Ling should be able to detoxify the poison. She was immediately overjoyed. Little Wu, inform Little Black and Little White to return in a year. Tell them that it's Li Xiaoyao's order. Lin Ling said to ancient martial god Yungu. He wasn't afraid of the human world giants, but he had to be wary of the ancient giants, such as the great demon king of the demon race, the ghost emperor of the ghost race, the godly king of the godly kingdom, etc. Yes, master. When ancient martial god Yungu heard the voice in her heart, she immediately replied. She was extremely excited. She knew that during the 4-race tournament, it was time for her master to announce his identity. Moreover, there were still rumors that Lin Ling was a cripple. If the 4-race tournament began and the experts of the 4 races saw that not only was Lin Ling not crippled, but he was even stronger, she wondered what their expressions would be. After chatting for a while, everyone left one by one. After Lin Ling guided Yu Yu and the others in their cultivation, he also went into seclusion. This time, he had reaped a great harvest. He had enough treasures to break through to the next realm. Moreover, his foundation was extremely solid. Third Revolution Wuxia, severing 3 corpses. Once he stepped into the martial emperor realm, he would be invincible among those of the same realm. His Majesty's name will definitely shake the world in the upcoming 4-clan tournament. In the Purple Palace, Old Z looked at Lin Ling with gratification in his eyes. Elder Z, thank you for your help all these years. Lin Ling respectfully bowed towards Violet Elder. Before he recovered his memories, it was Violet Elder who helped him. It could be said that without Violet Elder, he, Lin Ling, might not have been able to find a second stone sculpture. Your Majesty, you can't. Elder Purple was flattered. He knew that Lin Ling was the reincarnation of Li Xiaoyao. Even the star-plucking emperor would have to treat Lin Ling as his junior. There's nothing wrong with that. In my heart, you are my master. Lin Ling still bowed. That kind of respect came from the bottom of his heart. Purple Elder's eyes became moist. It was his honor to be able to nurture Lin Ling in this lifetime. I know that you have always wanted to leave the Purple Palace and live like a normal person. Today, I will help you. Lin Ling said with a smile. He then took out a large number of treasures and helped Purple Elder reconstruct his body. Many treasures were needed to reconstruct a body and they were all extremely precious. Otherwise, Lin Ling would have already reconstructed the bodies of Lord Shui Wu and the others. Of course, Lord Shui Wu and the others could also forcefully seize some people's bodies. However, Lin Ling stopped them because that would go against the heavens. However, Lord Shui Wu and the others didn't care about their bodies because their strength would be even more powerful if they turned into souls. A few days later, Purple Elder appeared in the sacred rainforest. Yu and the others were extremely happy. They all held Purple Elder's hand. Obviously, they already knew Purple Elder. "Huh, Purple Elder, I finally see you." Princess Hualing was the most excited. She was the most familiar with Purple Elder. "Aya, my little princess, don't pull my beard. If you pull it again, it will be gone." Purple Elder's eyes were moist and his heart was moved. He was a soul and had always yearned for a lively situation where his children and grandchildren were everywhere. Now, Lin Ling had fulfilled his wish. Ancestor Tai Yen also knew Purple Elder. He immediately smiled and pulled Purple Elder to play chess and fish with Lin Ling's grandfather, Rain Master Mo Ping and the others. They were extremely happy. Lin Ling looked at this scene indifferently. At this moment, he felt that his motivation to become stronger was even greater. Lin Ling entered seclusion again. First, he dispelled the burning law poison. Then, he used all kinds of treasures to break through Wu Sheng's realm. After spending 10 years in the Purple Palace, Lin Ling naturally reached the Martial Emperor realm. His physical strength source was much larger than ordinary people's. After breaking through, his laws reached more than 50,000. This was just ordinary laws, not including the power of laws, martial arts and weapons. Moreover, ordinary first-level martial emperors only had 10,000 laws. Even third-level martial emperors only had 50,000 laws. However, Lin Ling's first-level martial emperors were comparable to third-level martial emperors. However, that was only for ordinary martial emperors. Geniuses like Huang's son were much more than that. However, they were still not comparable to Lin Ling. In addition, Lin Ling's fire attribute talent had also increased crazily, reaching 7th level divine rank. As for the 6 paths of reincarnation, Lin Ling cultivated the Hell Path, Hungry Ghost Path and Animal Path. Now that he had cultivated the Human Path, his laws had increased by 30,000, which was 20,000 more than the Animal Path. According to Lin Ling's knowledge, the 4th path of reincarnation increased the laws even more. It could be said that with the fire attribute martial Dao, Lin Ling could kill any third-level martial emperor. This was one of his trump cards. The second trump card was his soul power. With the help of the treasures left behind by Li Xiaoyao, his soul power had reached level 500. Whether it was Time Freeze, Maple Snow's Mournful Blade or Evasion Realm, they had all increased greatly. As for the third trump card, it was Lin Ling's sword principle and physical body. The improvement of his realm was slower. However, Lin Ling planned to reforge the tyrannical Song Sword and make it a 4-star celestial weapon to increase the power of the space law. Bitter cultivation was spent in boredom. Lin Ling knew that the peak battle of the 4 clans was getting closer and closer. However, after using up all the treasures, Lin Ling did not cultivate bitterly. He sensed that he was about to break through to first-level martial emperor. All he needed was an opportunity. "Lin Yi, how's your sword drawing technique?" When he was free, Lin Ling would give Lin Yi pointers on martial arts. "Father, I have already learned the sword drawing technique," Lin Yi replied proudly. However, when Lin Ling asked him to demonstrate it, Lin Ling immediately frowned and said, "The sword drawing technique seems to be the simplest sword principle. However, one movement contains millions of moves. Your martial arts are not up to standard. You have to swing the sword at least 200 million times, 200 million?" Lin Yi opened his mouth wide and then lowered his head. He had no choice but to do as he was told. As long as it was related to martial arts, his father would always be very strict with him. Yu and the others smiled as they looked at Lin Ling from afar. This was the feeling of home. Time quietly passed by. Unknowingly, a year had passed and the most anticipated for Clan's Heaven's Pride competition was about to begin. This competition was actually a seed competition for the creation battle. The winner would be able to participate in the creation battle and rule the world. The day before the 4-clan tournament began, the human race, god race, devil race, and ghost race were already filled with excitement. All the experts had come because of the 4-clan tournament. They wanted to see the strength of the top experts of each race. As for the experts who were qualified to participate in the tournament, they enjoyed endless glory and pride. Chapter 2058. The struggle of the 4 races. Early in the morning, a large number of experts had gathered at the 100-Year Mountain. Get lost, demon. Kiki, if not for the agreement between the races, would have killed these humans long ago. Come on, come kill us. The ghost race, demon race, celestial race, and the human race had accumulated a deep grudge against each other. Now that they were gathered at the 100 Years Mountain, it was natural that they would fight each other. Of course, they were only boasting because the key was the 4-clan competition. Moreover, no matter what kind of conflict they had, the outcome would be decided during the battle of creation. Therefore, even though those experts didn't like each other, they still rested in the mountain range, and more of them gathered. Gradually, the experts who were about to participate in the competition arrived. The 4 absolute talents of the gods. Someone suddenly cried out in alarm. Multicolored light shone in the sky as a large number of experts arrived. These people were dressed in luxurious embroidered clothes, and their auras were otherworldly. Moreover, their eyes were extremely arrogant as they looked at the common people of the world. They were the powerful beings of the 4 holy kingdoms. Among them, the 4 great divine kings didn't need to participate in the competition. They were ancient giants, and they were already quietly waiting for the battle of creation. The contestants were the 4 ultimate talents of the gods: evil god of immortality, burning heaven of emperor, heavenly god of 9 suns, and fire cloud unification. Their cultivation seemed to have reached the martial emperor realm. No wonder they are the 4 unique geniuses of the divine realm. Someone said in surprise, causing the expressions of the experts from various clans to change drastically. Whether it's the human race, the ghost race, or the demon race, they're all a bunch of trash. My god race is the noblest, the strongest race. At this moment, one of the 4 strongest geniuses, heavenly god 9 suns, said calmly. He looked down on everyone. How arrogant. Our demon king will definitely defeat him. The ghost king is stronger than him. The strong cultivators of the various races all frowned. Heavenly god Jiuyang was actually comparing the various races to trash. The god race was the noblest race. Damn it. Humph, you'll know after the battle. What you're saying now is just a joke. At this time, terrifying demonic clouds arrived. It was as if millions of demons were descending from the clouds. These were the demons who were about to participate in the competition. Leading the army were the 5 rising demon kings. They were Pink Crown Prince, Moaoao, Black Hole, Demon Monarch of Destruction, and Tian Ho. These people's strength was exceedingly high, and they could already fight against the giants of the human world. Moreover, after the arrival of the 5 little devil kings, ghostly wails and howls could be heard from afar. The experts of the ghost race had also arrived. Upon closer inspection, their appearances were similar to those of the devil race. They were all strange and bizarre, but the ghostly chi on their bodies was extremely dense. The ghost race's army was led by 4 people. They were called the 4 Great Ghost Marshals, and their strength was naturally extremely terrifying. It's so difficult to breathe. Are you crazy? Hurry up and come over to the human side. A human expert turned pale, but the others immediately reminded him. If one looked carefully, the 100-Year Mountain had already been divided into 4 camps. If one were to appear in the camp of another race, there was a high chance that one would be killed. It's alright, I'm here. While the human race was lacking a backbone, a large number of experts had arrived, led by heaven-blessed martial god and the others. Huang's son had arrived. In addition, the experts of the 3 great myths of the mortal world had also arrived. Among them, other than Huang's son, the others could also participate in the competition to fight for a spot in the Genesis battle. After their arrival, the pressure on the human side was reduced by a lot, but the crowd's blood was boiling. The competition between the 4 races was finally about to begin. Although they were not participating, the sense of honor was still very strong. After a while, the experts of the saint's great domain also arrived, but they did not send many people, only the 4 great immortal giants. In an instant, the people who were going to participate in the competition had all arrived. Where's Lin Ling? He killed my younger brother. Today, I must kill him. At this time, the pink crown prince of the devil race shouted in a low voice. His 2 younger brothers were killed by Lin Ling. Lin Ling is already crippled, your opponent is me. On the side of Huang's son, Prince of Freedom stared at the devil race's camp and said indifferently. You? Too weak, get lost. Lin Ling is more like it. However, the pink crown prince shouted in disdain. His words made Prince of Freedom's expression freeze there, he was too useless. It seems that in front of the experts of the 4 races, Lin Ling is the most famous, the other Huang's son are not as dazzling as him. Seeing this scene, many people secretly said. I said, Lin Ling is already crippled, he will not come today, your opponent is our Huang's son and the giants of the mortal world. Heaven-blessed martial god also opened his mouth, he was also very angry, no one in the devil race knew his name. What a pity, the number 1 genius of the human race has fallen, it seems that the human race has no chance to shine in the competition. The pink crown prince finally acknowledged the news that Lin Ling was crippled, but he still ignored the other Huang's son. Damn it! Prince of Freedom, heaven-blessed martial god, Luo Chen and the other famous geniuses, all of them secretly clenched their fists in anger. That's right, Lin Ling is still a worthy opponent, the others are just a bunch of trash. It seems that in this 4-race competition, I will take the first place, and our god race will also occupy the top 5. Heavenly God Jiuyang also said with a smile. In the 4-race competition, only the top 5 were qualified to participate in the battle of creation, so the competition was extremely fierce. Those geniuses of the god race and devil race are so arrogant, it's a pity that Lin Ling has fallen, otherwise if he was here, they would not be able to be arrogant. Yes. Yes, Prince of Freedom and the others are not confident enough. Yes. I heard that in order to detoxify Lin Ling, the 7 emperors and the others tried all kinds of methods, and finally found a secret method in the ancient ruins, and forged a jade pendant that can suppress the burning magic poison. Yes. Really? Yes. Of course, my senior brother is Xian Di under the 7 emperors, he told me. Yes. Speaking of Lin Ling, many people suddenly began to discuss, the voices made the eyes of heavenly god Jiuyang and the others flicker. I heard that it was extremely difficult to suppress, it took almost a year, but the poison was suppressed in the end. Then, is Lin Ling back on the altar again? It's hard to say, because in order to suppress the burning magic poison, Lin Ling wasted too much time, and I heard that many of his laws were burned, so even if his strength has increased, he can't catch up with the other sons of desolation. Alas, what a pity. The crowd said again, such words made heavenly god Jiuyang and the others laugh, Lin Ling is really tenacious, but it's a pity that everything is in vain. Even the sons of desolation and the others laughed, they were very happy in their hearts, although Lin Ling did not become a cripple, it was obviously not worth mentioning. Emperor Li Shou, is what they said true? Among the big shots of the mortal world, someone asked in a low voice. Indeed. Emperor Li Shou smiled bitterly. The 7 emperors had indeed worked hard for Lin Ling, but the result did not seem to be good. What made them most speechless was that Lin Ling actually ignored the jade pendant that they had painstakingly forged. This made them sometimes think, could it be that Lin Ling had also given up? Well, let's not talk about that trash. Next, the 4-race competition begins. Chapter 2059. King's Light. When the strong cultivators saw how proud the 9-sun celestial god was, they pulled a long face, but they didn't do anything. They also knew that the strong cultivators from the ancient times were watching. They were just hiding in the dark. The strong cultivators of the 4 clans discussed and decided to use the King's Light at the beginning to eliminate some weak cultivators. Said an ancient voice in the sky. It was the voice of the strong cultivators from the ancient times. The initial elimination of the 4 great clans is the same. Those who are too weak will lose the face of their respective clans if they enter the martial stage. Therefore, they must be eliminated. Another voice floated out. It seemed to be the voice of an ancient great demon king. The crowd was astonished. As expected, the strong cultivators from the ancient times were watching. But that was the truth. The competition of the 4 clans was the most important competition in the history of the world. Therefore, if ordinary cultivators were allowed to go on the stage, they would lose face. What? King's Light? Suddenly, the expressions of some of the older experts instantly changed, causing some of the younger generation to become curious. As for the 7 emperors and the others, they laughed bitterly. This initial elimination was really harsh. The King's Light is an ancient cosmic energy. It comes from the ancient kings of the clans. It contains an ancient chi. Without the strength of the great Emperor layer, nobody can pass the King's Light. Said Emperor Li Shou, shaking his head. The most important thing is that it doesn't only require cultivation level, it also requires natural talents. Many people took a deep breath. Someone asked nervously, what if you can't pass the King's Light? Die. Emperor Yu spat out a single word, causing the crowd to become silent. Unless you have the chi of the first king, you can't pass the King's Light. Otherwise, you can't pass the King's Light. Said the 2 kings of Champion University, smiling wryly. Boom, boom, boom. At the same time, a gigantic stone fell from the sky and turned into a flight of stairs. At the top of the gigantic stone, there was a magnificent stage. There were 4 stages like that in the 4 corners of the 100 Years Mountain. Boom, boom, boom. But the gigantic stone wasn't the only one. At the same time, a gigantic statue fell from the sky and landed in front of the stairs. The Devil Race's statue was a devil king with 2 horns on its head. This statue was actually the oldest devil king of the Devil Race, the 1st generation devil king. The Ghost Race's statue was similar to a yiksha, bearing its fangs and brandishing its claws, looking extremely ferocious. Some people curiously stared at the statue, but after staring for more than an incense stick's worth of time, they immediately spat out blood and retreated. Although it was a statue, the pressure it exuded was extremely terrifying. It was the same for the celestial race. However, the one who landed on the ground was a handsome man. He looked heroic and mighty. As for the humans, they were led by the 1st emperor of the Desolate Era, the overlord saber of the 1st sovereign emperor. He was an awe-inspiring man with a saber in his hand, like an undefeatable god of war. These 4 stone statues emitted light that enveloped the giant stone steps. Clearly, only those who had stepped onto the 9 stone steps would have the qualifications to participate in the competition. And those rays of light were none other than the King of Honor Light. So it's the light of the 1st venerable sovereign. The crowd was enlightened. Those who want to participate in the competition can go to the giant stone sculptures. A voice drifted out from the sky. Hee hee, with my strength, it won't be difficult. I will definitely reach the giant stone martial platform and fight with the top experts of the various races. Only trash would dare not. The experts of the various races were eager to take action. They took large strides and walked toward their respective stone statues. Boom! On the demon race's side, an expert had just approached when he was immediately blasted into pieces. Failure. The ghost race's side was the same. As for the human side, an old man with fighting spirit also walked forward. However, he was turned into ashes by the terrifying rays of light. Another failure. How terrifying. Those are rank 2 martial emperors. Many people gasped. The King of Honor light was too powerful. Otherwise, do you think the aura of the first sovereign emperor is so easy to deal with? The 7 emperors smiled bitterly and shook their heads. They had originally wanted to participate in the competition, but now they were hesitating. Look over there, Heavenly God Jiuyang has reached the giant stone martial platform. At this time, someone pointed at the demon race's side. Heavenly God Jiuyang stood proudly on the martial platform. He was actually the first to reach the martial platform. A bunch of trash. Moreover, a disdainful voice floated out, causing the martial artists of the godly nation to cheer. The experts of the human race, demon race, and ghost race were naturally unwilling to accept this. One by one, they walked toward the stone statues. They could not lose face. Gradually, people from the human race also stepped onto the giant stone martial platform. The first was the heavenly martial god. At this moment, he was extremely proud and looked down on everyone. Prince of Freedom, fallen mortal, and the others also reached the giant stone martial platform one after another. What was surprising was that the 3 great legends of the human realm did not participate in the competition. On the contrary, there were many giants of the human realm, such as the Stone God, the Fire Toad, and the human immortal realm giants. However, the Fire Toad failed and was almost killed by the rays of light. Among the human immortal realm giants of the 4 great saint domains, only 3 had reached the giant stone martial platform. They were the primeval spiritual being, the divine Marquis, and the North Celestial Emperor. In a short time, the experts of the human race had almost all decided on who would participate in the competition. It was the same for the deity race, ghost race, and demon race. There were only about 200 to 300 people. However, although there were many of them, the number of experts who were killed by the Reverend King's rays was even greater. Many of them were of the rank 3 martial emperor realm. As time passed, fewer and fewer people participated in the competition. It seemed that most of the people had been decided. At this moment, the 7 emperors frowned. The first round of elimination was about to end. Why was Lin Ling not here yet? Of course, other than them, no one remembered Lin Ling. It was as if Lin Ling was the representative of the past. However, no one remembered Lin Ling. Was he not coming? At this moment, in the distant sky, a large number of figures finally arrived. Because the first round of elimination was about to end, their arrival immediately attracted many people's attention. Lin Ling? The crown prince of the spirit tribe? That looks like the primeval spiritual being from the great saint domain. Lin Ling is here. Is he here to watch the show? The crowd was in an uproar. Everyone knew Lin Ling. In fact, although Lin Ling had become a cripple, the miracles he had created in the past were still famous. He's here. On the Fire Tribe side, Princess Wuxia looked at the sky excitedly. I hope he can participate in the competition. As for Huayao, he sighed softly. If Lin Ling had not been poisoned, Lin Ling would have been extremely dazzling today. Many people had the same thought. They subconsciously looked at the primeval spiritual being and the others. Everyone's eyes were filled with anger. If it were not for them, how could Lin Ling become a cripple? This was a good thing for the other races. Is he here to make a fool of himself? Huang Zizi and the others could not wait to see Lin Ling fall. At this moment, they looked at Lin Ling with contempt. I thought he wouldn't come. After all, he can't let go of fame and fortune. For fame and fortune, he is even willing to give up his life. He's just risking his life. Because even if he doesn't come, there will be many people who want to kill him after the competition. Chapter 2060. Lin Ling arrives and at that moment, several figures were standing on the dragon turtle battleship in the sky. The person leading them was dressed in blue and white robes. He carried an ancient sword on his back, and his long hair fluttered in the wind. His eyes were as tranquil as an ancient well. Although Lin Ling's current strength can't compare to Desolation's, at least he didn't give up. Emperor Li Shou and the others were gratified. They didn't know that Lin Ling had already cured the burning law poison. Trash, scram. Don't embarrass yourself. While the experts of the four races were staring at Lin Ling, an old man suddenly took a large step forward and appeared in the sky, blocking Lin Ling and the others. This old man was actually a human expert. Seeing the old man's actions, many people sneered. Lin Ling had become a cripple, and there were indeed many people who wanted to teach him a lesson. At this moment, on the dragon turtle battleship, Lin Ling and the others were looking down at the ground with cold expressions. I'm talking to you, can't you hear me? Scram! The old man shouted angrily again. This person was from the Xianyuan clan. His clan had been annihilated in the past, and he had escaped because he had gone out to gain experience. Therefore, he hated Lin Ling to the bone. However, Lin Ling had been too powerful in the past, so he did not dare to take revenge. However, the current Lin Ling was not worth mentioning. Seeing him stop Lin Ling, the sneers on the experts' faces deepened. They wanted to see whether or not Lin Ling had become a cripple. If you can come, why can't I? Lin Ling's gaze finally landed on the old man as he spoke indifferently. Because I'm here to support the human race, and you're a cripple. You're here to make a fool of yourself, so get lost. The old man shouted coldly, as if he was a big shot in the human world. Are you saying that you're very strong, so you came to support the human race, while I'm a cripple, so I can't come, and I don't have the qualifications to come? Lin Ling said calmly. He had long known that he would encounter many difficulties, so he did not plan to announce it to the world immediately. His strength was not crippled. Because he also wanted to see who wanted him dead and who wanted him dead. Not bad, you finally know how much of a waste you are. Now you can scram. The old man nodded. Then he sighed. You used to be a genius in the mortal world, but you were too arrogant and made enemies everywhere. Now you know what retribution is, right? Therefore, young man, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you have some strength. I hope that this incident will teach you how to conduct yourself. He. Lin Ling smiled. The tyrannical song sword appeared in his right hand, and he slashed out. Thanks for the reminder. That sword had easily unleashed 3,000 laws, and that old man was only at the 10th stage realm of Wuxia. He couldn't block it at all. Moreover, he was shocked. Hadn't Lin Ling become a cripple? How could he still erupt with 3,000 laws? You're right, strength is everything. But it's clear that I'm stronger than you, so you'd better scram. Whoosh! After that sword, a sword mark appeared on the old man's neck. He pointed at Lin Ling and fell to the ground without saying anything. Lin Ling didn't even look at him and walked towards the ground. It seems that the jade pendant that the 7th Emperor forged for him can indeed suppress the poison. But that's all. He missed the time to cultivate because of the burning law poison. Now he's definitely not a match for the son of Huang. Sai, why did you come? It's just embarrassing. The crowd was slightly surprised, but they still sighed. Lin Ling, you're here. I've been waiting for a long time. On the human race's giant stone martial platform, Primeval Spiritual Master looked down at Lin Ling from above. In the past, Lin Ling was so brilliant and dazzling. Now that he had become a cripple, he felt very carefree. Moreover, he could kill him however he wanted to. This undoubtedly resolved his worries. Lin Ling looked at Primeval Spiritual Master and sneered. Sorry for being late and making you wait for a long time. He would definitely kill Primeval Spiritual Master. But he would let him be arrogant first. After the competition, he would slowly settle the old scores. I know you hate me because I made you a cripple, so I'm very sorry. Primeval Spiritual Master said with a smile. His expression was full of schadenfreude. However, it's better to squash enmity than keep it alive. I already regret my previous mistakes. But now that you've been poisoned, it's hard to change things. So if you're angry, then come and beat me. Primeval Spiritual Master obviously had a deep resentment against Lin Ling. At this moment, he was even more proud. Despicable. Seeing that shameless look, Primeval Spiritual Master couldn't help but curse. He didn't expect his master to be so despicable. Let him be proud. He won't live past today. However, Lin Ling didn't care because he really didn't need to care too much about a dead person. Yes. Primeval Spiritual Master nodded immediately. Yu and the others also followed Lin Ling with cold faces. You're Lin Ling, the one who killed my younger brother. If you have the guts, let me tell you, you're going to die today. In the distance, Pink Crown Prince of the Demon Race said, shaking the sky. Lin Ling, do you still remember what happened in the fifth city of the godly nation? At that time, you were very arrogant. But today, I will kill you. 9 Sons Heavenly God, Undying Evil God and the others also said. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Ling had become a thorn in their side. However, what surprised them was that Son of Famine and the others also said, Lin Ling, your end is here. Heaven Warping Martial God, Prince of Freedom and the others had long wanted to kill Lin Ling. At this moment, they all bared their fangs. Heaven Warping Martial God laughed loudly and made a throat-slitting gesture. The human race, devil race, ghost race, and god race all wanted Lin Ling dead. Of course, there were also many people who were worried about Lin Ling. The 7 emperors, the 18 islands of the spirit race, Zhang Yingjun of the immortal divine nation, and so on. Without a doubt, although Lin Ling had become a cripple, his brilliance could still shock the world. As Lin Ling listened to the wave-like voices around him, the corners of his mouth finally curved into a sneer. He did not expect that the experts of the 4 races were paying attention to him. Since that was the case, he might as well let the storm come more fiercely. In this semi-finals, I want first place. Whoever comes to kill me, wait to be killed by me. Lin Ling spat out the words from his mouth, causing the 100-year mountain to fall silent. Lin Ling seemed to have been forced into a corner, so he made a declaration. With his strength, he actually wanted to get first place. Moreover, whoever came to kill him, who would he kill? After a moment of silence, roaring laughter resounded like thunder, shaking the entire 100-year mountain. Even the 7 emperors and the others laughed bitterly. They had seen how powerful the other geniuses were before, and even they were afraid of those geniuses. However, who knew that Lin Ling would actually say that he would kill them? Good, good, good. Amidst the laughter, Heavenly God Jiuyang clapped his hands and said, I can tell you that today, you are dead for sure, so you can refute with all your might. However, I hope that your refutation will not disappoint me. Now, you should first ascend the martial stage. That's right, ascend the martial stage. The others also laughed coldly. Lin Ling nodded and strode towards the stone statue of the human race. Lin Ling, we will go first. Primeval beginning, prince of the spirit race, and the others all spoke. They wanted to test the power of the stone statue for themselves. Chapter 2061. Handover of the Throne. Seeing this, many people's eyes narrowed, especially Yuanshi Zhenren, because he knew Yuanshi Zi's strength the best, but he did not expect Yuanshi Zi to be so successful. Could it be that his disciple's strength had increased greatly? Next up was the spirit race crown prince. He had spent a lot of effort, but he was lucky enough to reach the top. Next, Yu, Anuer, and the others also stepped onto the giant stone martial platform, and they were the most relaxed. You're beautiful and strong. Beauty, leave Lin Ling. He's no longer worthy of you. Two heavenly beauties. It's a pity that they married Lin Ling. Lin Ling is a toad that ate swan meat. No worries. After today, those two beauties will abandon Lin Ling. Many people looked at Yu and the others with admiration and licked their lips. Even heavenly god Jiuyang, Pink Crown Prince, and the others stared at Yu and the other girls. Then, they laughed. Those two girls were not bad. They belonged to them. As for Yu and the others, they descended to the mortal world. Heaven-blessed martial prodigy chuckled and was just about to say a few words of flattery. Shut up. Yu coldly interrupted, causing the expressions of Tianzong and the others to turn unsightly. They didn't understand why Lin Ling was already crippled, but Yu and the others were still following Lin Ling. And the more it was like this, the more jealous they were. What they didn't know was that Yu and the others were only where they were today because of Lin Ling. Therefore, even if Lin Ling really became a cripple, they would still follow Lin Ling. Brother Ling, come on up. Yu then said to the big man. She could easily come up, so Lin Ling would definitely have an even easier time. Of course, they thought so, but the others didn't think so. They were all waiting to see a good show. Lin Ling smiled. He didn't care about the stone sculpture and took a big step forward. However, at this moment, a terrifying light enveloped him, causing Lin Ling to be unable to move an inch. Huh? Lin Ling frowned. How could this be? Logically speaking, Yu and the others had already gone up, so it shouldn't be difficult for him. But why was the stone sculpture's light even stronger? The Honorable King Light stopped Lin Ling. Does this mean that Lin Ling's strength doesn't meet the requirements? The seven kings and the others frowned. As for the experts of the various clans, they were all stunned. Then, deafening voices rose and fell one after another. Even so, Lin Ling still wanted to take first place. This was simply a joke. Lin Ling, aren't you very arrogant? Yuanshi Zi, and the others were surprised because Lin Ling was above them in terms of talent, realm, and strength. It was impossible that he couldn't get on the giant stone martial platform. Bang! Lin Ling took another step forward, but the mysterious light was even more terrifying, forcing him back. Impossible. Impossible. Lin Ling's frown deepened. Even he was surprised by his current strength. The Honorable King Light shouldn't be able to stop him. What was the reason? Thud, thud, thud. Lin Ling retreated from the shock. However, Lin Ling stepped forward again, but the result was the same. What a disgrace. Even Yu and the others succeeded. Lin Ling, don't you feel embarrassed? What first place Yu? I think you're just trash. Get lost. We'll kill you after the competition ends. You're wasting our time. Seeing this, many people gloated even more. Lin Ling obviously didn't admit that he was trash. This was because the King of Supremacy's first elimination had very strict requirements for all kinds of domains. Although Lin Ling was not as weak as he had imagined, he clearly did not meet the requirements to participate in the competition. Otherwise, the stone statue would not have stopped him. Sigh, did he fail? The 7 emperors and the others sighed softly. They watched as Lin Ling was rejected again and again, and they felt a little uncomfortable in their hearts. In the past, he had been so proud, and his name had shaken the world. His skills had suppressed the 4 races, and he had been the youngest giant of the human world. This was the sorrow of a powerhouse. Moreover, many experts of the human race couldn't bear to watch such a scene because it was like watching Lin Ling perish. The laughter around them grew louder. However, Lin Ling didn't seem to hear it. He continued to move forward, but he was stopped again and again. Gradually, the ancient giant's voice came from the sky. "Get lost. You're wasting our time." It was the demon king of the demon race. Obviously, they couldn't watch Lin Ling fail again and again. Lin Ling still had to face reality. He was already a cripple. Get lost. Around the 100 Years Mountain, a large number of voices rang out, telling Lin Ling to get lost. Lin Ling looked at the sky indifferently and ignored them. Then, he looked at the stone sculpture in front of him. Even now, he still didn't understand why the stone sculpture was stopping him. "If you don't get lost, don't blame us for killing you." In the sky, the cold voice sounded again, causing the ancient giants of the human world to fall silent. Obviously, they couldn't help Lin Ling unless Lin Ling left on his own accord. Lin Ling was still looking at the stone sculpture. Gradually, his eyes lit up. This honorable king light was the light of the first honorable sovereign of the human race. It was also the aura of the first honorable sovereign. Was it because of Li Xiaoyao? Could it be that Li Xiaoyao had fought with the oldest honorable sovereign in the past and won? Therefore, when the stone sculpture sensed Li Xiaoyao, it stopped Lin Ling. A mountain couldn't hide 2 tigers, because this was also a clash of auras between honorable sovereigns. Thinking of this, Lin Ling's lips curled into a confident smile. Others only needed the stone sculpture's approval to ascend the giant stone martial platform. However, Lin Ling was Li Xiaoyao, so the stone sculpture obviously wouldn't approve of him. The only way to solve this problem was to resist. Confrontation and recognition were clearly 2 different concepts. Of course, Lin Ling was also the first person to confront the stone sculpture among the powerhouses participating in the competition today. So what if he was the first honorable sovereign of the desolate antiquity era? Times had changed, and Li Xiaoyao had already surpassed him. Pa! Lin Ling took another step forward. From the eye of time, an invisible honorable sovereign aura spread out and collided with the honorable king light. Still not leaving? Then I'm going to attack. The ancient giants in the sky didn't know about Lin Ling's change and coldly said at this moment. That's right, Lin Ling is breaking the rules and making the experts of the 4 clans wait for him. A ghost emperor from the ghost clan also coldly shouted. The ancient giants of the human race were still silent. They also didn't understand why Lin Ling was still persisting. However, they didn't see that the stone sculpture of the first honorable sovereign was shaking. Although it was slight, it was indeed shaking. A voice floated out in Lin Ling's mind. First honorable sovereign, I respect you as the #1 expert of the human race, so I'm giving you face. However, you're already old. You're already a stone sculpture, a dead object. The new generation surpasses the old. Do you still want to sit on the throne of the honorable sovereign? I, Li Xiaoyao, have already defeated you. I, Lin Ling, am the current #1 honorable sovereign. It's time for you to hand over your throne. You can't stop me. Lin Ling shouted in his mind. Like a dragon flying in the sky, with unruliness and determination, he took a heavy step forward. At the same time, the ancient giants in the sky were already preparing to attack. However, at this moment, the stone sculpture of the human race shook violently. Under countless gazes, as if the throne of the honorable sovereign was about to be handed over, it suddenly exploded. Boom! The Honorable King Light was completely shattered. Chapter 2062. Who is not convinced? Everyone stared blankly at the foot of the giant stone steps. There, the statue of the number one sovereign of the human race had already been blown away by the wind. As for Lin Ling, his footsteps were steady as he walked towards the boulder martial platform. In the sky, the great demon king who was about to attack seemed to have been struck by lightning, instantly falling silent. Of course, he was not the only one. The entire 100 Years Mountain was completely silent. Everyone was shocked. What's going on? The statue of the number one human was shattered, and the light of supremacy had disappeared? Didn't Lin Ling fail repeatedly before? Why did the stone statue shatter at the critical moment and help him? For a moment, everyone's minds seemed to have stopped working. They couldn't think of anything. A voice came from the human clan's side. It was the immortal Yuanshi. Impossible. You haven't been recognized by the first sovereign. You can't come up here. This question was on everyone's mind. On the giant stone steps, Lin Ling continued to move forward as if he hadn't heard anything. Answer me. The primeval spiritual master felt that he could no longer swallow his pride and shouted angrily. Lin Ling, you better explain yourself. After all, you are here as a representative of the human race. If you do something shameful, the entire human race will lose face. Tianzong said calmly, as if he was the leader of the human race. As for the experts of the other three races, although they were unhappy, they remained silent because the experts of the human race would demand an explanation from Lin Ling. However, Lin Ling still didn't listen. He walked his own path. Bastard! Heaven-blessed martial artist felt that Lin Ling was ignoring him too much. Lin Ling, you'd better give me an explanation. Otherwise, I'll strip you of your qualifications. On the side of the human race, a large number of angry shouts sounded out, causing the other three races to sneer. The human race wasn't united at all. Of course, those that weren't convinced of Lin Ling's strength came from the myriad saint territory, and the martial artists of the mortal world's three mystic realms all supported Lin Ling. Excuse me, isn't the first elimination based on who ascends the giant rock martial platform? At this moment, Lin Ling finally spoke. That's right. However, the first statue was destroyed and the King of Exalted Light disappeared. Don't you think you owe us an explanation? What does the disappearance of the revered King's light have to do with me, and it's also none of your business. It's enough that I can ascend the giant rock martial platform. Lin Ling coldly looked at heaven-blessed martial artist and spat out a sentence indifferently. None of your business. This thought appeared in the minds of countless people. Lin Ling was still as arrogant as ever. Tianzong Divine Marshal's pupils constricted. He was speechless for a moment because Lin Ling was right. It was enough that he could climb up the platform. It must be that the first stone sculpture has been around for too long, so it suddenly shattered. Lin Ling, you're so lucky. I don't think so. Maybe Lin Ling did something. In any case, we demons do not recognize his qualifications. Gradually, a large number of disgruntled voices drifted out. Lin Ling, a piece of trash, a piece of trash. If I were you, I would have already scrammed back home to avoid making a fool of myself. The experts from the Grand Saint realm cursed angrily, causing the primeval spiritual master and Shenhou Zi to laugh. They wanted to see if Lin Ling still had the nerve to participate. Unfortunately, Lin Ling's expression was still calm. Instead, he looked at the noisy crowd and said, "Not convinced? Come, I'll kill whoever comes." Hearing this, many people were even more furious. In their minds, the first stone sculpture was the strongest of the human race. If it did not recognize Lin Ling, then Lin Ling was definitely not qualified. Perhaps Lin Ling's talent was too weak, or perhaps he had too few laws, or perhaps his realm was not up to standard, etc. But Lin Ling was lucky enough to pass. He was actually so arrogant and said that he would kill whoever came. What right did he have? It seems that you've angered the 4 races. I think you should give an explanation. As long as you're honest, perhaps the 4 races will spare your life. Speak. At this time, a low voice came from the sky. It was the great demon king of the demon race. Because even they could not understand how Lin Ling succeeded. Moreover, Lin Ling had repeatedly stirred up huge waves in the demon race, causing the great demon king of the demon race to want to kill him as soon as possible. However, what was disgusting was that after the great demon king of the demon race finished speaking, the primeval spiritual master and the rest also echoed. How ugly. I've long heard that the giants of the human world colluded with the demon race. Today, I see that it's true. The martial artists of the 3 mysterious realms felt disgusted. However, the primeval spiritual master and the rest did not care about this. They just wanted Lin Ling to die. Rumble. Almost at the same time, in the sky, a large hand fiercely grabbed at Lin Ling, and a terrifying demonic aura swept over. The great demon king of the demon race had made his move, wanting to kill Lin Ling. Moreover, he didn't even give any warning before making his move. It was extremely ruthless. Lin Ling. The 7 emperors did not expect to encounter such a situation, and they immediately shouted. Stop! However, at this moment, a golden tortoise shell appeared in the sky, blocking that terrifying palm. Demon Kingdom's Crystal Master, you want an explanation? Kame's Spiritual Master also appeared in the sky, overlooking everyone. The Demon Kingdom's Crystal Master sneered and disappeared without a trace. He wanted to see what explanation Kame's Spiritual Master would give. If Kame's Spiritual Master could not convince the masses, even if the demon race did not make a move, the human race's experts would definitely kill Lin Ling. However, his guess was correct. Those who had a grudge against Lin Ling naturally would not waste this opportunity. Kame's Spiritual Master looked at the vast crowd and finally said, "The Emperor's throne handover." As soon as his voice fell, the 100-year mountain fell silent. What, the Emperor's throne handover? The first to let out a cry of horror was the heaven-blessed martial artist. He naturally knew what the Emperor's throne handover was. How is it possible? The first emperor of the human race, how could he give the Emperor's throne to the crippled Lin Ling? Some ancient experts also knew about the Emperor's throne handover, so they said in shock. At this moment, the human race's experts were all stunned. So were the demon race, ghost race, and deity race. The so-called Emperor's throne handover meant that Lin Ling had taken over the position of the first emperor of the human race. This Emperor's throne handover was very terrifying. It represented the leader of the human race and was also the strongest expert. However, was Lin Ling qualified? Nonsense. The heaven-blessed martial artist roared. He could not believe this result because he was the first emperor. Just because he's a cripple? Prince Xiaoyao was also extremely unwilling. Gradually, those voices of dissatisfaction once again floated like the waves of the sea. This little guy is actually Emperor's throne handover. The 7 emperors gasped as they stared at Lin Ling. Only then did they realize that Lin Ling was still walking down the giant stone steps, as if he did not hear the angry shouts around him. He's calm enough. If it were me, I would find it difficult to keep calm at this moment. Emperor Lisho smiled bitterly. Ordinary people would not be able to keep calm in the face of the 4 races' experts. At this moment, Lin Ling finally arrived at the giant stone martial arts platform. Everyone on the platform stared at Lin Ling with a grave expression. You're talking nonsense? Lin Ling finally spoke, then may I ask, who can shatter the first stone statue? Chapter 2063. Chaotic battle. That's right. Who could do it? Was there anyone from the god race who could? Was there anyone from the ghost race? Was there anyone from the demon race? Let's not talk about the distant, but the near. Was there anyone who could do it? Was there anyone who could do it? No one could. Since you can't do it, shut up. Lin Ling shouted. He had been silent before, but now he was like an unsheathed sword. He didn't speak much, but he suppressed the four races. The result was that everyone shut up. Although they were unwilling, they couldn't break the first stone statue. So, what right did they have to speak? All right, the human race's contestant has been decided. At this time, an old voice sounded. Everyone saw an old man standing in the clouds. It was the guardian of the mortal realm. Although he was seriously injured in the nation of gods, he naturally came for such a grand occasion. As soon as his words fell, everyone recognized Lin Ling's qualifications. How lucky! However, many people were still jealous. No matter. With his strength, he won't be able to escape death in the end. Are you from the human race? Why are you speaking for an outsider? I'm just telling the truth. The crowd was still not optimistic about Lin Ling, but on the human side, many people supported Lin Ling. After all, they still remembered the legend that Lin Ling had created. As for the god race, there were many who were gloating. Of course, those top geniuses didn't care about Lin Ling. Instead, they stared at their opponents. At present, there were close to 100 people on each stage. With 4 stages, there were almost 400 people. With so many people, it was impossible to fight one by one. Therefore, the second round of eliminations immediately followed. The 4 races stared at the 4 stages, and their breathing quickened. There was no doubt about the strength of the contestants on the stages. They were the strongest existences below the ancient giants. There were geniuses of various races, and old powerhouses, and so on. Who would be left in the end? After the ancient giants of the 4 races discussed, the second round of eliminations is called chaotic battle. On each stage, 20 people will be left. The weak will be eliminated. A shocking voice finally came from the sky. There were close to 100 people on a martial stage, and only 20 would remain. This meant that 80 people would be eliminated. It was cruel, but it was also very realistic. After all, the remaining people would have to compete for 5 spots and participate in the battle with the ancient giants. The weak would naturally be eliminated. Prepare for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, then begin. A ghost emperor from the ghost race said coldly. On the martial stage, an oppressive wind permeated the air. Every expert looked at each other, not wanting to be eliminated by the other. As for Lin Ling, he was also looking at the martial stage. His keen soul force detected that heaven-warping martial prowess, Prince of Heaven Unfettered, and the others had greatly increased in strength. They were actually the most terrifying existences on the martial stage. Unfettered Prince, you used to cultivate the Tao of slaughter to wipe out my entire sect. Today, you shall die. After 1 incense stick's worth of time, the martial platform finally erupted with a terrifying murderous intent. A white-haired old man appeared first and charged straight at Prince Xiaoyao. You're courting death. Someone shouted in a low voice. It seemed that this person had quite a good relationship with Prince Xiaoyao. However, just as that person was about to make a move, Prince Xiaoyao stopped him with a cold smile on his face. I have killed a lot of people. So, where are you from? A terrifying cloud appeared on Prince Xiaoyao's right hand. It was formed by his murderous intent. Before I die, let me tell you. This old man is from Lingyun Battle Sect and is a supreme elder. The old man's strength had reached rank 1 martial emperor realm. He erupted with 15,000 law energy. His weapon and martial arts were supported by many law energy. 15,000 law energy. He is even more powerful than an ordinary rank 1 martial emperor. However, he is still inferior to Desolation's son. Prince Xiao Yao will definitely defeat him. I know. I hope we can see Prince Xiao Yao's full strength this time. The human race's side was filled with anticipation. The first elimination battle was already very crazy. Hee, kill the heavens, kill the earth, kill all living things. What was terrifying was that Prince Xiao Yao revealed an evil charming smile. He spread out his hands and red clouds bared their fangs and brandished their claws as they pounced on the old man. Rumble. It was as if all the law of slaughter in the world had merged and erupted with 30,000 law energy. Prince Xiao Yao was only a rank 1 martial emperor. Boom! The old man was blasted to death. Before he died, he did not expect that Prince Xiao Yao knew twice as many law energy as him. Too terrifying. He has twice as many law energy as his opponent and his talent is not weak. I'm afraid he has reached rank 6 divine rank. The experts of various races were shocked because Prince Xiao Yao had won too easily. If Prince Xiao Yao was already like this, the heavenly martial emperors would definitely not be weak. How can he be so powerful? Yu and the others' expressions changed drastically. Lin Ling said with a grave expression, "There is a mysterious aura on his body. It seems like he has some kind of treasure. It seems like he has obtained great benefits in the nation of gods. If we meet him, we will be in trouble." Prince Ling frowned. He and Prince Xiao Yao were both rank 1 martial emperors, but their opponent's law energy could not be underestimated. Your law energy should not be less than 30,000, right? At this time, Lin Ling laughed. Prince Ling and the others laughed. They were Desolation's sons and naturally had 30,000 law energy. Lin Ling, die. At this moment, someone pounced over. To everyone's surprise, this person was actually at the 10th level of the martial saint realm. He wanted to eliminate Lin Ling with such strength? Lin Ling was stunned. You are not allowed to help him. I want to fight him one-on-one and eliminate him. Do you dare? The expert was not weak. He was an experienced expert. As soon as his words fell, many people on the martial stage became excited. Lin Ling was a cripple and should be the first to be eliminated. In this way, they had hopes of entering the top 20. I don't know where your confidence comes from. Lin Ling said indifferently. I naturally know where your strength comes from. It comes from the ancient heavenly crow and a mysterious ancient snake. But on the martial stage, other than weapons, no other items can be used. So, you are not worth mentioning. The expert laughed confidently. Then, he looked at Yu and the others and said, "You are not allowed to help. Otherwise, don't blame us for bullying you with our numbers. If we attack you, all of you will die." His voice was filled with pressure. Yu and the others were stunned. Wuxia was a rank 10 martial emperor and he was threatening them. All of us will die. Yuanshi Z and the others sneered. So it's Wei Tianba of the mortal realms 3 mysterious. I heard that you are very close to the ancient Ji family. Today, you must be here for revenge. But Lin Ling, let me do it. I want to see how we will die. Stone Deity walked out from beside Lin Ling and said. How dare you? Wei Tianba pointed at Stone Deity. Stone Deity frowned. He was the number 1 old ancestor of the Stone clan. Why was Wei Tianba so arrogant when he met him? He called me by name. So, let me do it. Lin Ling waved his hand and walked out step by step. Below the martial stage, the crowd's eyes flickered. Lin Ling couldn't use any external items and he had missed the cultivation time. Was he Wuxia's rank 10 martial emperor opponent? Although Lin Ling can't be compared to the real big shots in the mortal realm, but ordinary experts can't afford to offend him. I think he can win. I think so too. But I'm afraid it will be a tough win. If that's the case, then there will be more people who will eliminate him. Chapter 2064. The Primordial Spiritual Beings Challenge. On the martial stage of the human race, Tianzong Divine Martial Artist was also looking at Lin Ling. Many top experts of the divine race and the demon race were also looking at him. Because ordinary experts did not dare to eliminate them, they were quite relaxed. Most importantly, they wanted to see how useless Lin Ling was. Hehe, you finally agreed to the battle? Tell me, what's your current cultivation and how many laws do you have? Wei Tianba sneered when he saw Lin Ling coming out. First level Martial Emperor Realm. Lin Ling did not hide anything. Seems like the 7 emperors have spent a lot of effort on you. However, have you reached 5,000 laws? I heard that the burning law poison has burned many of your laws. Perhaps, you are the first Martial Emperor Realm expert who has not reached 10,000 laws. Wei Tianba was still confident because the burning law poison was something that even the ancient giants could not cure. Therefore, Lin Ling must have been injured by the poison. Cut the crap. If you want to eliminate me, you will die. Lin Ling was too lazy to talk nonsense. Hehe, even though I'm only at the 10th level of the Martial Sacred Realm, I have the Beast King Divine Hammer, which can reach 8,000 laws. You are no match for me. Wei Tianba sneered and patted his waist. A golden hammer appeared in his hand, and the moment the hammer appeared, it shone brightly and the roar of a Beast King could be heard. This hammer had more than 4,000 laws. It was a weapon that was half a step into the 3-star immortal weapon level. Hehe, human realm legend Lin Ling, facing my Beast King Divine Hammer, you can only regret it in the underworld. I have avenged the Ji family. Let me tell you, my Divine Hammer comes from the nation of gods. Wei Tianba's aura became stronger and stronger like the king of beasts. No wonder he dared to appear here with his cultivation. You talk too much nonsense. However, Lin Ling shook his head and shot towards the expert. Wait. However, just as Lin Ling was about to attack, Wei Tianba suddenly roared, causing Lin Ling to frown. What was he trying to do? You must tell your friend to stay away. Wei Tianba said coldly. Why? Lin Ling was puzzled. Are you stupid? Because when I kill you later, your friends will help, and they are all stronger than you, so I can't underestimate them. So for the sake of fairness, tell them to get lost. Wei Tianba shouted angrily, blaming Lin Ling for not being tactful, too stupid. Lin Ling was even more astonished. With Wei Tianba's cultivation, how could he, Lin Ling, need help? I think too highly of you. Lin Ling took a step forward, and the black tortoise's 9 steps appeared. He arrived in front of Wei Tianba and punched out. Wei Tianba was instantly enraged. Lin Ling attacked as he pleased, and it could be considered a sneak attack. He smashed his divine hammer at Lin Ling, and the angry roars of 100 beasts resounded like the beating of a heavenly drum. Boom! Under countless gazes, Lin Ling's fist collided with the divine hammer. The laws roared, but they seemed evenly matched. What? He's fine. Wei Tianba swept his gaze and immediately gasped. The power of 8,000 laws couldn't kill Lin Ling? The crowd's expression changed slightly. Although Lin Ling had declined, his strength was still not weak. If that's all, when I use the power of all creations, you still can't block it. Wei Tianba's body became tall like a giant, and he punched again. Boom! Boom! Unfortunately, in the face of Lin Ling's Azura demon bone, this power was too weak. Lin Ling directly used his fist to block it. Boom! With a boom, the martial stage also swayed. Wei Tianba's expression changed drastically. Compared to him, Lin Ling was more like a beast king. How was this possible? Looks like I have to unleash the full power of the divine hammer. He looked at Lin Ling with a serious expression. Just as he was about to swing his hammer, he suddenly realized that the divine hammer in his hand seemed to have become lighter. Your divine hammer is broken. Lin Ling pointed into the distance. On the ground in the distance, a hammer was lying there. The handle of the hammer was actually broken by Lin Ling's fist. My immortal weapon. Wei Tianba was stunned, and even dumbfounded. With your strength, you dare to fight me? You have the nerve to say that you don't want my friend to help? Lin Ling said coldly. His footsteps did not stop. He came in front of Wei Tianba and punched out fiercely. Currently, his physical strength could be said to be number one in the mortal world. 10,000 creations unification. Wei Tianba's face turned pale, and he erupted with all his strength. However, his right arm was broken by Lin Ling's punch, and his body was forced to retreat. I admit defeat. Wei Tianba shouted anxiously, but Lin Ling still rushed forward as if the invincible god of war had arrived. I've already admitted defeat. What else do you want? Enough. Seeing Lin Ling's terrifying aura, Wei Tianba's face became more and more angry. Lin Ling, you're going too far. You don't want to fight just because you admit defeat? You're thinking too lightly. Boom. Lin Ling jumped up and smashed down like a meteor, and punched out. Boom. A big hole was smashed in the martial platform, and Wei Tianba was blasted out. However, Lin Ling turned and walked back, leaving the giant stone martial platform somewhat silent. The crowd below was also somewhat silent. Although Lin Ling was poisoned by the burning law, he was once the son of desolation. Ordinary people were ultimately not his match. Lin Ling, good job. Boom. Yuanshi Zi and the others immediately laughed. They did not know Lin Ling's specific strength. Only Yu and the others knew. They all walked towards Lin Ling and wiped away Lin Ling's sweat. Their gentle and considerate appearance undoubtedly made many people extremely jealous. On the giant stone martial platform, the experts were even more jealous. At present, there were only 60 people left on the giant stone martial platform. Lin Ling had 5 people beside him, namely Yu, Anuer, Yuanshi Zi, the Spirit Tribe's Crown Prince, and Stone God. The others were all eliminated. The remaining experts were also fighting, but more of them were looking at each other. At this moment, a cold gaze pierced through the void and fell on Lin Ling. Lin Ling frowned slightly and looked at that person. It was actually Yuanshi. How about we fight? Yuanshi spoke, and his voice was not soft. The entire giant stone martial platform fell silent, and all the battles stopped. Yuanshi wants to fight Lin Ling? The crowd below was also shocked and extremely expectant. Yuanshi is a human immortal powerhouse. His cultivation has reached Wuxia's 3rd realm, and his laws are not weak. Can Lin Ling fight him? The 7 emperors and the others were worried. Even if Lin Ling was not poisoned, it would be difficult for him to fight Yuanshi, let alone now that he was poisoned. Interesting, Lin Ling's pace is about to stop. What human realm legend, he's about to be eliminated in the 2nd round. He said he wants to get 1st place. Now let's see how he gets it. Without the ancient divine crow and the mysterious ancient snake, Lin Ling is definitely not Yuanshi match. Yuanshi is definitely not Wei Tianba's match. The crowd was also discussing. It was not that they looked down on Lin Ling, but their thoughts were the same as the 7 emperors. Even if Lin Ling was not poisoned, he might not be Yuanshi match. Lin Ling, I'll do it. Yuanshi Zi looked at Lin Ling and said. He was his master, so let him do it. Lin Ling patted his shoulder and shook his head. What, you don't dare? Chapter 2065. Cripple? In this chaotic battle, only the strong will survive and the trash will die. You, Lin Ling, will definitely die if you dare to come here. However, if you want to blame someone, blame me. If it wasn't for my burning magic poison, you would definitely be famous today. The primeval spiritual master said again, trying to provoke Lin Ling. However, Lin Ling's expression remained calm, unmoved. This was because the burning magic poison was not poison to Lin Ling, but nourishment. Therefore, he would not be angered at all. How calm. Yuanshi Zhenren frowned and suddenly laughed. Sooner or later, we'll have to settle our grudges. Don't you want to end it all? Don't try to provoke me. In fact, even if you don't fight me, I will still kill you. Finally, Lin Ling said calmly, however, I can give you a chance. What opportunity? Instead of getting angry, Yuanshi Zhenren asked with a smile. Kill yourself. Perhaps your death won't be too painful. Lin Ling spat out. Ha! As soon as he finished speaking, the primeval spiritual master laughed out loud. The crowd below also roared with laughter. To say such words to a giant of the human realm, this was simply overestimating one's capabilities. Lin Ling seemed to still think that he was the son of desolation. It's easy to change mountains and rivers, but it's hard to change one's nature. At first, I thought this sentence was wrong, but now, I agree, because you, Lin Ling, are still as arrogant as ever. Spiritual Master Primordial Beginning walked out step by step, and the experts on the boulder martial platform all made way. Watch the primeval spiritual master eliminate Lin Ling. How many moves do you think Lin Ling can withstand? Even I am no match for primeval Zhenren. As for Lin Ling, I am confident that I can kill him in 3 moves, so primeval Zhenren should be able to kill him in 1 move. Those top experts said coldly. It was time to eliminate the trash, Lin Ling. As for Lin Ling, it was as if he did not hear the voices around him. He walked out step by step. It was time for his agreement with the primeval spiritual master to end. You caused me to lose my disciple and my daughter. Today, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death. The primordial beginning spiritual master stopped in his tracks. Spiraling airwaves erupted from his body and soared into the sky, causing the sky to tremble. Instantly, the experts of the 4 stages all looked over, because that was the strongest aura they had seen so far. The primeval chi became more and more terrifying, and the power of law became even more turbulent. 3rd level Martial Emperor, 40,000 laws. Staring at the sky, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They did not expect the primeval spiritual being's law to be so terrifying. Previously, Prince Xiaoyao's eruption of 30,000 laws had already alarmed the 100 Years Mountain, let alone now. As expected of the primeval royal family of the Saint's great domain. With this power of law, you can do whatever you want in the mortal world. Looks like the primeval Zhenren will definitely enter the top 20. Perhaps, it's possible to enter the top 5. Many people whispered to each other. At this moment, no one believed that Lin Ling could win. This was because the primeval beginning Zhenren surpassed Lin Ling in both cultivation and the number of laws. Not to mention, Lin Ling was just a cripple. Rumble. The wind and clouds billowed, sweeping across heaven and earth. The primeval chi permeated the air, and in the center, the primeval beginning Zhenren looked down at Lin Ling like a divine king. His every word and action represented the laws of heaven and earth. Moreover, the shocking thing was that the primeval beginning Zhenren did not make a move. He was still increasing his power of law, preparing for the most terrifying attack. Apparently, although Lin Ling had declined, his glory in the past was too great, so the primeval beginning Zhenren made a move with all his might. Two spiraling primeval qi appeared in the sky, like a huge sun, and his laws had almost reached 40,000. The laws are not bad, but it's a pity that your talent is too low, only a 4th-level divine rank. Everyone thought that Lin Ling would be facing a formidable enemy, but to their surprise, Lin Ling said softly. Such words were undoubtedly shocking. However, in their eyes, Lin Ling moved. He did not dodge, instead, he shot toward the primeval beginning Zhenren, as if he was going to resist the primeval beginning Zhenren's terrifying laws. Is he crazy? Everyone's scalp went numb. Lin Ling was simply committing suicide. Facing the primeval beginning Zhenren's terrifying laws, Lin Ling should have chosen to dodge, not meet force with force. Humph, someone like you dares to call yourself a human legend? You overestimate yourself. Seeing Lin Ling's actions, the primeval beginning Zhenren smiled contemptuously. He pointed his right hand, and the primeval qi flowed out like waves, rushing toward Lin Ling. Rumble. The appearance of the river of laws was shocking. Boom. Lin Ling's steps were stopped. In front of him was the power of law that could be broken, and he seemed to be drowned at any time. Seeing this, many people held their breaths. Some were happy, some were disdainful, and some were worried. For example, the 7 emperors, Little Flame, Princess Fire Spirit, and the others. However, there were also people who were not worried about Lin Ling, and their expressions were extremely calm. For example, Yu, an Yuer, and came Spiritual Master. If this Lin Ling is even weaker than the primeval beginning Zhenren, then he can die. In the distance, on the giant stone martial arts platform of the gods, 9 Suns' lips curled into a smile. Lin Ling. The eyes of Tianzong martial god and Prince Xiaoyao flashed. They wanted to see if this old enemy of theirs was still as powerful as they thought. Under everyone's gaze, they saw that Lin Ling had disappeared, as if he had turned into ashes. However, those who were stronger could see that Lin Ling was following the primeval qi and rushing toward the primeval beginning Zhenren. What kind of powerful defense was this? What kind of terrifying talent was this? Just as they were in shock, the sky in front of the primeval beginning Zhenren exploded, and a mighty demonic aura swept out, as if a great demon king had descended. Azura Demon Bone. A terrifying punch with ferocious power was thrown out ruthlessly. Boom! The sound was deafening. It was as if a bomb had been thrown into the torrential primeval qi, splashing water everywhere. A figure flew backward like a cannonball, finally crashing into his own primeval qi. Drops of blood dripped down from the sky and onto the ground. Drip, drip, drip. Countless people looked at the scene in the sky, their eyes trembling. In the sky, the primeval beginning Zhenren's right arm was hanging down, as if it was broken. His face was pale, and blood was dripping from the corner of his mouth. On the other side, Lin Ling's blue and white robes fluttered in the sky, as if he was the immovable wisdom king. Lin Ling actually had the upper hand in their first confrontation. Wasn't Lin Ling crippled? The entire 100 Years Mountain was filled with voices, and no one could believe their eyes. In the past, Lin Ling had created countless miracles and became the #1 genius of the mortal world. Later on, he fell, and everyone was disappointed in him, and even pitied him. But now, Lin Ling had become the #1 genius once again. He was not crippled. Impossible, absolutely impossible, why do you have so many laws? The primeval beginning Zhenren let out an angry roar. Lin Ling's talent and physical body were stronger than his, but his power of laws was stronger, so he was confident that he could kill Lin Ling. However, Lin Ling was not afraid of his laws, which meant that Lin Ling had laws that were not weaker than his. Although this was just a guess, it was still extremely terrifying. Chapter 2066. Killed with one strike. No one could answer all of this. It could only be said that the current Lin Ling had exceeded everyone's logic and imagination. It's time for your nonsense to end. Lin Ling's eyes were extremely calm as he walked towards Yuanshizhenren. He did not reveal his strength. Everything was for this day. He wanted to see who wanted to kill him. Whoever wanted to destroy his rainforest holy land, he would return the favor. Seeing Lin Ling walking towards him step by step, Primeval Immortal's expression finally changed dramatically. At this moment, he could not see through Lin Ling. At this moment, he panicked. In the final analysis, it was because Lin Ling at his peak was too terrifying and had created too many miracles. "I'll help you." However, just as he was panicking, a cold voice rang out from behind him. Black light bloomed, and it was as if night had fallen. A man in a black robe floated there. A bow appeared in his hand, and he was about to shoot it into the sky. That arrow pierced through the earth. It was Shenhe's son. Moreover, he also erupted with the surging power of the laws as he aimed an arrow at Lin Ling. The strength of this arrow caused the pressure on many powerhouses on the martial platform to increase. In this way, it would be two human immortals fighting Lin Ling at the same time. When they saw this, the ground was filled with the sound of rapid breathing. There were even some people who didn't even have the time to curse him for being despicable. Lin Ling also frowned. Just as he was about to do something, Yuanshizhenren suddenly laughed. "Lin Ling, do you know? My daughter worshipped you since she was young. Because of you, she severed our father-daughter relationship. So, I crippled her and threw her into the primeval imperial clan's primeval worm prison. Every day, every night, she will be bitten by poisonous worms. Moreover, I even broke her 4 limbs and all the bones in her body, making her life worse than death. All of this is because of you, Lin Ling." The primordial Lord of Heaven became hysterical, his eyes filled with madness. Those who knew the primeval spiritual master sucked in a breath of cold air. They didn't expect the primeval spiritual master to be so ruthless that he would kill his own daughter. "Primeval spiritual master, what did you do to junior sister Guer?" On the stage, Yuanshiz's eyes turned red. His master was not a human. Lin Ling was also stunned for a moment. Then, his eyes turned red. A terrifying killing intent erupted from his body. He thought of the innocent girl in the primitive royal family. He thought of the shy girl who worshipped him. "Bastard, you won't even spare your own daughter." You and the others had tears in their eyes. They could imagine Yuanshizhen's situation. Moreover, they had made things difficult for her in the past. At this moment, they felt extremely guilty. She can't even move and is bitten every day. Moreover, her face is disfigured, so she doesn't dare to come and see you. However, she calls your name every day. She said that she can die without regrets because in this life, she finally saw the person she worships. The primeval spiritual master laughed crazily. He seemed to be crazy, but in reality, he was also angering Lin Ling, because he was secretly brewing an even more terrifying power of law. "You must die." Lin Ling's expression was somewhat sinister. He finally spat out a sentence. His voice was calm, but his killing intent was terrifying. It actually caused everyone on the ground to feel a chill in their hearts. Was this still the crippled Lin Ling? Moreover, in their eyes, Lin Ling seemed to have gone crazy as he pounced towards the primeval spiritual master. This kid is really sincere. Seeing Lin Ling lose his mind, many people secretly admired him. "Lin Ling, don't be fooled." The 7 emperors and the others anxiously shouted, because in front of Lin Ling, the arrow from the divine marquis was already aimed at him. In fact, he should be waiting for Lin Ling to arrive. "Lin Ling." Everyone who knew Lin Ling shouted at the top of their lungs. As for the son of famine and the others, they sneered. Lin Ling's personality had a huge flaw, and that was that he placed too much importance on friendship. For the sake of friendship, he could attack regardless of the consequences, regardless of whether he went to the ends of the earth or to the underworld. The primeval spiritual master was clearly very familiar with Lin Ling's personality, so he attacked Lin Ling's weakness. Hee, come at me. Sure enough, when Lin Ling pounced over, the divine marquis finally sneered. The huge bow in his hand shot out, causing the sky to explode. An arrow pierced through the sky. Divine Marquis heaven-piercing arrow. Without 50,000 law enforcers, no one could block this arrow. Primeval world extermination. The primeval spiritual master also pushed his hands forward. The torrent of laws was vast and mighty, and it actually followed the divine arrow out. With the combination of these two terrifying laws, without 60,000 law enforcers, they would definitely die. Although Lin Ling's talent was higher than theirs, his laws couldn't compare to theirs. He definitely wouldn't be able to block the attacks of two human immortal giants. I never thought that in the second round, such a terrifying battle would erupt on the human race's martial stage. At this moment, all the experts of the four clans looked over. The weaker ones felt an extremely great pressure. This time, Lin Ling shouldn't be able to block it. Countless gazes stared at Lin Ling. Some sighed, some sneered, and some were filled with anticipation. However, what was surprising was that in the face of that terrifying power of law, Lin Ling still did not retreat. Instead, he fearlessly charged towards the primeval spiritual master. Primeval spiritual master, he, Lin Ling, owed her a favor. Today, if he, Lin Ling, retreated, then he, Lin Ling, would no longer have the qualifications to be a human. So what if it was a conspiracy? So what if it was a provocation? Lin Ling knew that it was a provocation, but he couldn't suppress his anger. Since that was the case, then he would let his anger explode. Only this sword, the hegemon of the world, sings. Facing the joint attack of two human immortal giants, relying on the physical strength of the Azura Devil Bone was obviously unrealistic. Therefore, Lin Ling touched the ancient sword behind him with his right hand. At this moment, the ancient sword finally erupted with a dazzling light. He was the third-rank Wuxia, the slayer of 3 corpses, the Azura Devil Bone. All of his terrifying trump cards erupted. 50,000 laws, earth-shattering eruption, in addition to the 4-star immortal weapon, the hegemon sword, which increased the power of law by 10,000, was able to cut the heavens. Unfortunately, this ferocious light burst forth too late. Everyone only saw the primeval great precepts drown Lin Ling, and the terrifying giant arrow that could shoot through a country killed Lin Ling. At this moment, those who knew Lin Ling shouted even louder, as if they saw the number 1 genius of the human realm, Lin Ling, fall. Even Yu and the others clenched their small hands. Lin Ling fought against 2 human immortal giants. Their confidence was not very strong. But at this moment, the sword light appeared. The space split open, and the great law bloomed, forming a lightning pool. Moreover, the terrifying space law actually condensed, turning into a sword that didn't look huge. But this was more like a real sword. Boom! Under the sword, the giant arrow was instantly shattered, and the terrifying torrent of law seemed to be cut off, shooting in all directions. That sword had severed everything. What? Some experts looked as if they were struck by lightning, their eyes fixed on the sky. The ground was also dead silent. Cripple? Or cripple? If they had some doubts when Lin Ling defeated the primeval spiritual master, then now, any doubts were blown away by the wind. Chapter 2067. Round 3 begins. How could they know that although the 2 worldly immortal giants had a total of 100,000 laws, it was obvious that they did not come from the same person, so the power of the law did not count as 100,000. Lin Ling had erupted with 60,000 laws, but his talent was even stronger and more terrifying, so he was able to cut off the two's laws. Of course, if the primeval Zhenren's talent was not lower than Lin Ling's, then Lin Ling might not be able to cut it off. Impossible. Yuanshi Zhenren and Shenhou Zi roared at the same time. In their eyes, a sword came from the horizon. The power of the law made them unable to resist. After a gust of wind, a sword mark appeared on Shenhou Zi's neck. He touched his neck and wanted to say something, but nothing came out. The only thing left in his mind was the scene of him mocking Lin Ling. Poison of burning law. This is great. I didn't expect that you, the primeval Zhenren, would obtain such a treasure from the martial god realm and poison Lin Ling. Then are we still going to chase after Lin Ling? Chase? Why should we chase? In fact, if I knew who wanted to kill Lin Ling, who would be the first to disagree? Because letting Lin Ling die now would be letting Lin Ling off easy. Letting him fall from heaven to hell before dying would be the greatest torture. That's a good suggestion. I'm really looking forward to next year's tournament. I wonder how Lin Ling will react when he is trampled by the 4 great clans. At that time, he was smiling happily and contentedly. But now, he could only smile bitterly. Plop. Almost at the same time, a head fell from the sky and smashed into the ground, shocking everyone. On the other hand, Primeval Spiritual Master had been sliced in half and had fallen onto the martial arts platform. However, he was clearly not dead and was trying to stand up with difficulty. However, he quickly stopped because he saw a slender figure walking towards him step by step. It was Lin Ling. The Primeval Spiritual Master's breathing slowed down. He saw that Lin Ling's expression was very cold. I've said it before. If you kill yourself obediently, you won't be tortured. A cold voice floated out of Lin Ling's mouth, causing the Primordial Spiritual Master's body to tremble. Then, an arm grabbed him by the head, and a mysterious power surged into his body. At first, that kind of power was itchy, incomparably itchy, making him want to dig out his skin. Then came the coldness. The coldness seeped into his heart and reached his soul. Next was heat, as if he was inside a volcano. However, he couldn't sense any flames. This feeling was simply the greatest torture in life. Only those who had experienced it would know. At this moment, he suddenly regretted infuriating Lin Ling, because the price he had to pay was terrifying. If I want to torture you, I have thousands of ways to do so. Yuanshi Zhenren's angry voice rang in his ears, making him speak with difficulty, kill me, kill me. At this moment, he finally understood what Lin Ling meant. Sometimes, death was a relief. Now, he wanted to die, but it was very difficult. Because your daughter objected to your actions, you crippled her and tortured her. I really don't understand how you're a father and son. No matter how vicious a tiger is, it won't eat its own children. Lin Ling's eyes were extremely cold. You tortured Yuanshi Guzi, so I'll torture you even more horrifying than her. Because, you're not human. As the reincarnation of Li Xiaoyao, Lin Ling did indeed have a lot of ways to torture people. No, kill me. The Primordial Spiritual Master's body seemed to have a large number of insects crawling on it. It was frightening just looking at it. Okay, kill him. As the former disciple of the Primordial Spiritual Master, the Primordial Spiritual Master clenched his fists tightly. His master was indeed despicable. Finally, this is for your daughter, Yuanshi Guzi. In the end, Lin Ling coldly shouted and clenched his fist. The Primordial Spiritual Master's head exploded and he died completely. However, a strand of yellow spring flame floated over and burned his soul, bringing him into the Purple Mansion. Treat him well. Lin Ling muttered to himself. In the Purple Mansion, the Yellow Spring Army sneered. Treat him well? They definitely understood. After that, Lin Ling walked towards Yu Yu and the rest. When he stopped, he let out a cold voice. I know that many people here want to see a good show and many people want me dead. Especially after I was poisoned by the flame poison, everyone wants to step on my head. Sigh. Unfortunately, you're all going to be disappointed. Anyone who wants me dead, who wants to trample on my people, please step forward. I'll show you what hell really is. Sigh. His voice floated out like the wind, reaching the 4 giant stone martial platforms and even the entire 100 Years Mountain. What is hell? Sigh. That tyrannical voice was like a thick threat, and also like a sword hanging on everyone's neck. If you dare to come, then go to hell. Bastard! Bastard! In an instant, the experts of various clans had ugly expressions. Lin Ling was too arrogant. However, they endured it. Now, Lin Ling had proved that he was not a cripple. If ordinary people wanted to kill him, they would only die. Moreover, the facts also proved that Lin Ling was still a monster. This made those who wanted to see a good show feel disgusted as if they had eaten a fly. Obviously, no one dared to challenge Lin Ling. Although Lin Ling was a bit tyrannical, he had killed 2 human immortal realm experts. This was the strength of the Son of Desolation. I didn't expect that he didn't die, but became even stronger. Interesting. Interesting, he's too weak. I'm not interested in fighting with him. Yes. 60,000 laws. Not bad, he's invincible in the first-level martial emperor realm. However, he should have used his full strength, and we haven't. Bastard. The top geniuses of various clans said coldly. Among them, the Son of Desolation sneered. Obviously, although Lin Ling could not be underestimated, they were still confident. Lin Ling, Lin Ling. Yes. Human realm legend Lin Ling. Yes. Good job. Yes. On the human race's side, a large number of cheers rang out. The genius Lin Ling in their impression had once again created a miracle and returned to the divine altar. Moreover, he had announced to all his opponents that if they dared to come, they would be waiting to go to hell. How domineering. The human race had always lacked a pillar of support, and now, they felt that it was Lin Ling. Because only Lin Ling dared to speak so arrogantly. Below the giant stone martial platform, the 7 emperors laughed. In the past, we had always protected him, but from now on, he has started to protect us. Spread your wings and fly high, your wings are full. I, Emperor Li Shou, like being protected by him. Those experts who had a good relationship with Lin Ling felt gratified. Lin Ling, stay here. I'm going to the Great Sage Realm. Yes. Spiritual Master came floated in the sky and said to Lin Ling. It seemed that he was going to save Yuanshi Guzi. Lin Ling immediately relaxed and nodded with a smile. He chatted with Yu Yu and the others, looking extremely relaxed. After the second round of eliminations, only 20 people from the 4 clans were left. A total of 80 people were left. Next was the most crucial battle between the 4 clans. The 4 giant stone martial platforms combined to form an even larger martial platform. They would fight by drawing lots. Once they lost, they would be eliminated directly. Chapter 2068. The shocking strength of the experts of various races. As a result, the experts of the 4 clans became excited. The following battle would definitely be exciting. As for the experts who were about to participate in the competition, they were also extremely excited. Moreover, they hoped that they would not be eliminated. There's no doubt about the strength of the remaining 80 people. They're all giants of their respective races. We're in for a bit of trouble. After Lin Ling and the others left the martial stage, the stone god looked at the sky and said. Many of these 80 people aren't strong. Their talents on the tree of talents are above average. As a result, they seem to have a lot of laws, but in reality, that's all there is to it. Lin Ling said with a smile. The stone god's pupils constricted. Lin Ling was so calm. He was extremely nervous. He then looked at Yu, Anuer, and the others, and found that they were also extremely calm. These little fellows are more capable than an old man like me. Sigh, I'm getting old, I'm losing face. Stone deity shook his head helplessly. What is a genius? Geniuses are all so confident. Next, the third round of elimination began. At the beginning, it was the devil race's experts who went up on stage, and their opponents were humans. The only outcome for you is death. That ghost coldly spoke, extremely domineering. Let's see how it goes. The human expert was very old. Although he looked calm, he was also very arrogant. The two of them soon began to fight. The ghost had a mysterious origin and exploded with terrifying methods. He actually froze the human elder and then devoured his soul. Humans are nourishment. When that ghost won, it released a sinister laugh, making many human experts frown. The other party was too arrogant. What kind of technique is that? So mysterious. Looking at the martial stage, the expressions of the spiritual race crown prince and the others changed. The ghost I mystique is, in fact, not even worth mentioning. Lin Ling's expression was a little cold. If you meet me, kill him in one move. Hearing this, Yuanshi Zi and the spirit tribe crown prince's eyes flashed. Lin Ling seemed to be very knowledgeable. He seemed to know how to break the ghost tribe's trick. The strength of a warrior is determined by many aspects, such as talent, laws, martial arts, and weapons. The talent of the ghost clan is indeed a bit mysterious, but the more extreme the talent, the greater the weakness. A true warrior relies on his own strength, not on unorthodox methods, Lin Ling said again, making Yuan Shizi and the others nod. Next, the elimination continued. Gradually, there were only 60 people left. Many experts from various races had been eliminated, causing the spectating experts to suck in a breath of cold air. In their eyes, this was a very intense battle. But to top powerhouses, this was merely a warm-up. In the next round, it was finally Stone God's turn. His opponent was a powerhouse from the godly kingdom, Wuxia, who looked extremely ordinary. Currently, there were only a few 10th stage realm Wuxia left behind. Most of them were in the martial emperor realm. Old ancestor Stone God, you can do it. The opponent is very weak. Stone God will definitely win. The three mysterious of the mortal realm cheered, causing the stone deity to laugh as well. Even though he usually transformed into a boulder and didn't care about the world, that was only relatively speaking. He remained indifferent towards the weak, but against the strong, he still wanted to see who was superior. Now that the martial stage was the strongest martial stage in the world, how could he not be moved? Old man, you must win. Stone God, congratulations on entering the top 40. The 7 emperors, Fire Toad, and the other powerhouses of the mortal realm laughed. However, just as they finished their words, Lin Ling shook his head and said, Stone God, you'd better admit defeat. What? Everyone opened their mouths wide. Stone God wanted to admit defeat in the face of Wuxia, a 10th stage realm powerhouse. Stone God was a 3rd stage martial emperor. His realm was so much higher than his opponents. Could it be that Wuxia, a 10th stage realm junior, had 50,000 laws? If that was the case, it was simply too terrifying. I don't know why, but my intuition tells me that you can't continue to be entangled with him. If the situation is not right, immediately leave the martial stage. Lin Ling explained. His soul power sensed that Stone God had a strange power, as if he was an opponent who relied on treasures to become stronger. Okay. Stone God would definitely treat other people's words as nonsense, but he believed in Lin Ling's words. Then, Stone God jumped onto the martial stage, but his opponent was still calm, looking like a loser. However, after the fight, his opponent took out a guqin and gently played it. Waves of green laws shot out, and those laws had reached 30,000. Moreover, the laws were increasing, close to 50,000. Obviously, that person wanted to kill Stone God. Fortunately, Stone God was prepared. When he felt something was wrong, he jumped out of the giant stone martial stage. Instantly, that person was stunned. That feeling was as if he had prepared his strongest punch, but it was as if he had punched cotton. Stone God's reaction is so fast. He almost died. TSK, he's so lucky. Could it be that he knew his opponent's trump card beforehand? On the side of the human race, everyone was surprised. Stone God was extremely depressed, but thinking that he had survived, he still smiled. Admirable, that martial artist from the godly kingdom has such a mysterious weapon, and Stone God actually guessed it. Admirable. Those human realm giants all said. He. Stone God smiled, but did not explain anything. He knew that it was Lin Ling who had reminded him. On the martial stage, the God race expert was so angry that his body was trembling. This was because his mysterious zither could only be used once. But now, he had wasted one. Most importantly, that old man's nose was very sharp. He didn't say anything and immediately retreated. It was as if he was playing with him. Lin Ling's eyes were solemn. The battle between the four races was more powerful than he had imagined. Then, the battle of the Son of Famine appeared on the martial stage. Tianzong martial god appeared, and without a doubt, he easily defeated his opponent. However, Lin Ling and the others could see that his strength was also very terrifying. Although he did not use his full strength, I feel that he is stronger than us. The spirit race crown prince frowned. Even stronger is yet to come. Heavenly God Jiuyang has made his move. Lin Ling shook his head. Heavenly God Jiuyang's opponent was one of the 6 young demon kings of the demon race, Tian Ho. Both of them were top geniuses of their respective races, and their strength was definitely stronger than the human realm giants. The 100-year mountain was instantly stirred up like boiling water. This was the first time that the top geniuses of the two races clashed. Even the Son of Famine, the Ghost race's Ghost Emperor, and the other strongest experts were looking forward to the battle. On the martial stage, Tian Ho was the first to appear. He was wearing a black robe, his face was covered with a mask, and there was a horn on his head, giving off an extremely mysterious feeling. Tian Ho of the demon race is also one of the commanders of the demon race's army. He is a first-level martial emperor, but his strength is so strong that he can kill a third-level martial emperor. So powerful? Then who can defeat him? Just watch, this battle will be very exciting. The experts of various races discussed spiritedly. Hearing those words, Lin Ling and Yu Yu shook their heads. With their strength, they could also kill a third-level martial emperor, so there was nothing to be proud of. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.